Mm. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? I'm just trying to get some fire. I'm trying to get an invite out here, and I cannot find. Let's see here. All right. All righty. And I'll send another one there. All right. Hopefully that works. What's happening out there, people? Everybody doing good? I'm still trying to wake up. Went and saw Justice League last night. I'm sure you all have seen those reviews, and that thing is garbage. The story was trash. My God, it was bad. But the reviews are starting to hit, and I'm not going to give any spoilers out on it. I'll just simply say that if you grew up, because I'm an old man, so if you grew up in the 70s, there was a cartoon called The Super Friends. It's a classic, but so I can find some redeeming qualities on it. But look, when you got, all right, let's do a critical thinking exercise real quick on Justice League. All right, Justice League's parent company, DC, is owned by Warner Brothers. Well, the movie rights are. Warner Brothers actually held all reviews until 1 o'clock this morning. All of them. So now they're hitting the internet.
Mr. Craig,
you there?
how's it going?
What's happening, player? I'm here doing my Justice League sort of review. I'm not doing those spoilers yet.
Oh, okay.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying how Warner Brothers held all reviews until tonight. Yeah, last night. So I was like, there's a reason why they did that. There's also a reason why that embargo hit, and they're holding Rotten Tomatoes hostage. They won't even let that score come out. Although I'll break it right now, it's sitting at 48. And that's from the first. Yeah, Warner Brothers owns is controlling partner of Rotten Tomatoes. I've got a Rotten Tomatoes score. I haven't put mine in yet. I can tell you what, it's going to start coming down. It's sitting at 60 right now on Metacritic, and it's starting to come down. Those people are the only people. Put it like this, bro. When you know it's bad, when you got the DC fanboys and fangirls talking about because they're fans, they're able to find some redeeming qualities in it because they're already fans of the series.
Right.
And it's like the mere fact that they're already fans. When you got okay, hold on. Let me turn that down. Fanboys and fangirls talking about. I'm trying to turn that off. All right, there we go. So it's bad when they're sitting up there having to dance around it. So it's like, damn, if you all got to dance, then what's everybody else going to think that's a casual fan? So Thor is better. Somebody said Thor is better. Yeah, Thor is better. I mean, I had to leave it there. I mean, I can't believe I had to go there. So But what's going on with you, bro? Thanks for joining me.
No problem, man. No problem. And listen, I just saw. No, you know what? I ain't gonna say now. I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce everything. But yeah, this your boy Penn from Sick Humor TV, man. Thank you, Craig Harris, for blessing me once again. You know what I'm saying? So it's real interesting right now. Real interesting right now.
Yeah, and I want to say a big shout out to a triple cup Chuck. That's hard for me to say. He's doing a podcast tonight at 11 p.m. I think Eastern time. He's going to be talking about The Punisher because that comes out in 48 hours on Netflix. So all the comic book, because like if you're a comic book guy and movie guy like I am, this is euphoria. You know, this coming off of Thor, Justice League just coming out. You got The Punisher coming out in 48 hours. So it's all good, you know. It's all good. So on that aspect. So, but yeah, fam, save your money. Go see a matinee. I'm not going to tell people what to do with their money, but you know, just go see a matinee. Go see the movie, but go see a matinee. You know, no spoilers, nothing like that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So.
I actually can't wait to see it, man. I mean, you know, I hear the bad reviews and stuff like that, but at the same time, even when it comes down to games, man, like I always like to go and see what it's about myself. Like if I would have went off based off reviews with like Super Lucky's Tale, I'd have never played that game. And that game was actually pretty decent, man. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, no. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to change the world, and it's definitely not going to do anything for Mario, but in its own right, in its own respect, the game is pretty dope.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So so what's been going on? How's that Xbox X treating you, bro?
Oh man, it's treating me great. Let me tell you, listen. So I downloaded Streets of Rage, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it was the highest quality pixels I have ever seen for that game. It ran with the smoothest frame rates ever. Like I beat all three of them, man. It was 1, 2, and 3, man. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about doing that Gamer Pass. So yeah. But I may have an unboxing here, and I'm calling it the Moab, the mother of all unboxings. I may have that if I can get my camera working. I kind of dedicated today to do that, but and my girl called was like, well, she's gonna bring some friends over about 4 o'clock, and I'm like, well, I guess I won't be working on the camera thing because it's Wednesday. We're gonna watch The Gifted, you know, and then, you know, be ready. She wants to go back out and see Justice League again either tomorrow or Friday. So hopefully I talk her into Friday. So I want to watch The Arrow tomorrow night because they had Deathstroke on their last episode. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Newt Bennett came back for that part. So but what's been going on with you, bro? How's your family doing?
Oh man, everything is beautiful. Working as usual though. You know what I'm saying? Like super late hours. I pretty much leave out here at like 8 o'clock. I don't get back until like 8, 9 in the morning. And that's why I was telling you last time I was on, like literally I was just getting home, getting settled in, and I saw it and I was like, all right, yeah, let me jump in before I go to sleep, because once I lay it down, that's it.
Yeah, that's the way I'm gonna be today. I watched another episode of Stranger Things. Again, if you all aren't watching that, shame on you. But again, I'm an 80s kid, so the way those kids dressed, that's what we look like with the socks and everything.
I try Stranger Things, man. I just really, one day I just have to sit down and dedicate nothing but time to watching that. Because every time I start watching it, something happens and I get taken off of it, man. So I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna go through the whole first season again. But from what I've seen thus far, it was pretty dope. I don't really want to say too much to spoil it, but that little girl is crazy, man.
Yeah, and they got to try to hold on to her because everybody's after her now. Marvel wants her in their movies, and DC wants her too. And the scary thing is, if you watched any Comic-Con, she looks so much more mature than the little boys do. I mean, you can just tell she's sprouting up. She's getting taller. They're toning down the way she looks now. So cool. Shout out to Millie Bobby Brown, everybody. Probably heard that name 100 times. Millie Bobby Brown, that's her name. She actually auditioned to be in that Logan movie to play X-23. She almost got that part. So,
oh my God, I wish you would have got that because that other girl was hella annoying, fam. Like, don't get me wrong, she did her thing in Logan, but she was so fucking annoying through the whole movie, dude. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So let's see how that goes. All right, but yeah, let's get into it here. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Very quickly. First of all, let's talk about let's talk about shout out to Matt's Gaming. I haven't because I had to work Monday, Tuesday. But shout out to him. I checked out his video. So I'm hearing, and we can tie this kind of into this other topic. I'm hearing checkerboard rendering. To hit 2160p, which I've said before on my podcast, I don't have a problem with. I've said on other podcasts it was not going to be a native 4K game. I heard that through friends that went to Star Wars Celebration. They did talk to the EA people down at Celebration.
Right.
And, but first things first, just based on what you have seen, I don't know if EA's come out with an official thing. They're in major damage control over the game, already.
I saw that. That was so crazy. It's kind of like all the blocks are kind of falling down for EA, man. Nothing is going right for them this year. Star Wars Battlefront, the Need for Speed Payback, they're all falling to the same fate. Here's the problem, though. I heard, and this is from a very credible source, that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a very good game.
Yeah.
But it's going to be overshadowed by all the bullshit that's going on right now. Now, I played the little trial or whatever that EA gives you on EA Access.
Yeah, Access.
And I also played the beta. From the beta to the trial. Now, keep in mind, the trial is on Xbox One X. The beta is on the PS4. There's not much of a difference, but I didn't expect there to be much of a difference either. See, I'm a realist, and I'm not going to sit up here and bullshit, right? Shadow of War, I know that was a Microsoft deal, man. They had no choice but to make it look better on that platform. They had no choice. You don't go from being 4K with Shadow of Mordor to being 1296p with Shadow of War. That's not a coincidence, fam. That is not a coincidence at all.
So is it, because I know the EA's already said it's 1440p 60 on the Pro. I mean, again, this is just what they've come out with officially. So is it 1800p on and they're both running 60 frames per second, everybody. So that's good too. Let's shout out to the developers for being able to give us the 60, but I think the original one was at 60, but I can't remember. It's been a couple years ago. Like I said, I've had one too many shots of tequila. So, but if one is at 1440p 60 and one is at 2160 through a checkerboard, shouldn't it look that? And they're both HDR, So
here's the thing. Here's the thing. From 1440p is not a resolution that's supported on TVs natively. So 1440p and then checkerboarded to 4K is basically what's going on with the PS4. With the Xbox One X, I'm pretty sure the baseline resolution is a tad bit higher. It might be 1800p, might be some weird 1700p, whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's a little bit higher than whatever's on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm just going to assume that based on the hardware. You know what I'm saying? But as far as analysis wise, we won't know until somebody actually does a breakdown of the resolution, because I'm not sure how Digital Foundry gets their resolutions. I'm not going to even attempt to figure it out because I really don't care.
Right.
We're just going to have to hear what that number is. You know what I'm saying? And it gets kind of weird because you have to look at things this way. Do you go by what you see, or do you go off a number? Because clearly, when I look at Call of Duty, I don't see a lick of difference. Like, really, not a lick of difference. I mean, don't get me wrong. There might be a minute difference there with some damn shadows or something like that, or maybe a slightly higher resolution. But to the naked eye, you're not going to see that. Anybody who claims that they see a difference, they're absolutely lying. Because if it takes Digital Foundry to zoom in 400 times, how the fuck can you see that with the naked eye? Excuse my language. But how is it possible to see that with the naked eye? They can't even see it with the naked eye. In order for them to be able to display that difference to somebody, you know, who's looking at their videos, they have to zoom in that many times to show the smallest difference. And don't get me wrong, they blow it out of proportion to make it seem like it's a huge difference. But then again, I understand that they have a contract with Microsoft. There is absolutely no way, by the way Digital Foundry talks, and we're only going by the buzzwords that they use and the way they wordsmith around everything. If you looked at the latest Titanfall video, Richard was totally disgusted by what he was seeing with Titanfall, and you could hear it in his voice. He's just like,
they've got another one out. Did you see the latest one they did this morning?
That's the one I'm referring to. That's the one I'm referring to.
Okay, I was going to get to that article. Also, I tell you what, bro, I'm going to read the I'll just kind of skim over the Call of Duty World War II thing, which you just said, what you just said, and what J-Dub said is exactly what's in that article. I mean, in the article, that article was pinned on the 12th. You all said that last week on on 60 frames no lag.
Right.
That's scary to think that you all saw that on, I guess that was the 8th, and then the official Digital Foundry came out on the 12th, and it pretty much said the same thing. But now, what do you think? Yeah, now what do you think about the Star Wars Battlefront backlash? I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I'm disappointed. I took part in the letter writing campaign to EA. I thought if they were going to do this with the characters, with the death of Carrie Fisher, that should have been a free to play character. No matter how much you look at it, that's at the minimum what EA should have done. But how do you think this is going to affect the overall sales? Because apparently there's people canceling this game.
It's definitely going to hurt it. It's going to hurt it.
Okay, go ahead.
There's no doubt about it. EA fucked up horribly, and not to say that they just fucked up. Like, their PR team sucks. You know what's so funny though? I feel like it's I think they're getting the rough end of the stick though. And let me explain to you why. And no, I'm not by any means saying that microtransactions are good. The excuse that their PR team was the exact same excuse that Forza's PR team gave when Forza 6 came out. Remember when Forza 6 came out and they announced that it was going to have microtransactions, and then whoever works that PR team who released the statement, they were like, oh yeah, we're making adjustments. We're going to make sure that the customers like what we're offering them, and yada 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 yada. Almost verbatim to what they were saying in that Reddit forum is clearly what Microsoft was saying with the Forza 7 microtransactions. And not Microsoft, I'm sorry. Whoever, I guess, Turn 10 maybe. I guess their team. I mean, it's all Microsoft anyway, but I'm not going to blame that on Microsoft. I'm going to blame that on Turn 10 because they're the ones who gave the excuse. But it sounds almost the same, and I was just like, yo, these microtransactions are here to stay, and there's really nothing we can do about it. We're gonna have to do one or two things. Either we're gonna do what we're doing with Star Wars Battlefront to every game, or those microtransactions are gonna continue to stay there. And to me, they don't bother me, but I can understand why they bother other people. And the reason why I say they don't bother me is because most of the stuff I play is single player anyway. If I do get on a multiplayer game, I'm not buying nothing anyway, so it still doesn't affect me. I mean, because everything could usually be earned, but you got people who want to skip the earning portion and just get straight to getting the stuff. And hey, if you want to spend money on that, if you feel like your money, that's what your money is worth, then go right ahead, bro. I'm not going to complain. But they're going to keep implementing it, and they're going to keep implementing it until it becomes a full-blown mobile damn game where, like what Star Wars Battlefront is doing. I heard if you're playing like the arcade mode or some shit like that, if you make too much credits or whatever, they put you on like a limiter. And I've seen that happen in mobile games where they tell you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can like respawn or get lives or something like that. And I think that's complete bullshit. And I think that they deserve everything they're getting right now. Everything.
and anybody, well, two things. I'm a Star Wars fan, so this game's already been purchased. I'm literally just waiting on Friday. Or I can go get it tomorrow night at midnight, I guess. I'm not going to do that. But ultimately, as a Star Wars fan, yeah, I'm going to buy the game. What I'm going to recommend to people, though, is you wait till Black Friday.
Yep.
To just pick it up, because this is one of the games that I've seen. It was either going to be in the $35 bin or maybe it was a $49. I mean, I can't remember, $45 bin. It's one of those things. You all can go back and look at that video. So shout out to me, because I did break that video. I've been waiting on that. But anyway, not just Star Wars. It was Assassin's Creed. It was some other games. Destiny, I think, was in there as well, if you are looking to buy that. Ultimately, though, if you are a big fan of what you saw with Anthem, this is the future for you, because this is an EA game that is going to be heavy microtransactions. So you all just better get ready for that. And if you don't mind it, that's fine. But that's what Anthem is going to be. I've been told by somebody that I trust, let me make that clear, that it's going to be EA's version of World of Warcraft. They're going to give you a base game, and then they're just going to add things on, and they're going to allow you all to play it. And it's going to be mostly online. Now, I hope that's wrong. Anthem looked interesting, but as somebody, look, they've destroyed Mass Effect. They destroyed a Star Wars game, for Christ's sake, and it looks like they messed this one up. You all may just want to take your time on Anthem. I'm not going to buy another EA product again. And I'm not even Dragon Age 4. And I've liked all the Dragon Ages. So that's just, fair warning, gamer to gamer. EA is getting the worst company every year for like the last 2 years. How you beat out Activision, for Christ's sake? So, absolutely. But somehow EA did this. So, again, so. We'll talk about that's fine. Anything you want to add before we move on?
Not necessarily about this particular situation, but I do want to send you a link. This is something that everybody can benefit from, and this is the reason why I'm holding off on buying any new games right at the moment. The last game I bought was Call of Duty World War II for PS4. And I only did that simply because they're selling it as a bundle with Infinite Warfare for $60, and I'm like, I already own Infinite Warfare, so it doesn't make sense for me. But I sent you a link. Click on that link, and it'll take you to the Black Friday ad for Walmart. And if you switch, if you go through it, you'll see that, man, they have Forza 7 is going to be $30. Need for Speed Payback is going to be $30. A ton of games is going to be $30. And then they have the bin with the $9 games, the $12 games, the $20 games, etc. and so on, man. So that's when I'm going to make my next purchases is on Black Friday.
Yeah, and I reckon, because a friend of mine, he just got an Xbox. He lives in Florida. He was going to buy one. He's not like a new convert, but he flat said he ain't buying no games until Black Friday. So
definitely, I wouldn't tell them that they should. It's definitely good that they waiting, man, because you're gonna get a lot of deals. A lot of deals.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think is it Plantation? No, he is in Sarasota. I almost wanted to say that, but and again, look, guy, I mean, I can't again. I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I don't want to see people get ripped off. But and they got these Element TVs there. Now that's something you do need to stay away from. Let me share that right there. Because I don't want to see people getting ripped off. So that Element TV, that's an L. I mean, unless somebody is buying that for you, this is right over here. There's a reason why it's $125. All right, now I can't would try to go buy, and I would have to say, nah, you ain't buying this. The Sharp TV, you may want to look into that.
Depends on which TV. Depends on which TV.
Depends on which one. They've obviously left that out. Now, this little thing right here, this Google Home thing, I'm looking into something like this because I live in an apartment, so we can't have I can't have a surround sound that's going to blow your clothes off, but I can get some good sound. So I'm looking into something like that. But that's just me looking. Oh, it says shop like a pro right here. That's pretty cool. So, it looks like they're going to have some sales. Here we go. So, but yeah, that's
Hey,
you all can check that one out. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I don't know if it's me, but I'm hearing like a whole bunch of distortion. Anybody in the chat, is it just me, or is it like sounding like robotic? It might just be my connection because everything sounds clear now.
Okay. Well, oh snap.
Oh no. Go ahead, because I must be tripping, man.
I could be the mic. I don't know. It's about time for a new one. I've had this for almost a year. So
okay, so it's just on my end, and it's just me hearing it then.
Okay, so the chat said everything's clear.
You know what? Let me refresh this real quick. I'm actually
all right. Let me go find the chat. All right.
All right. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Okay. How do I sound now? Is it better?
Yeah, you sound good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll go to the Xbox One X sales, which again, I'm not shocked by. I said before, it's new hardware. It should sell well. So I'm not shocked by this. Are you surprised by the amount of sales that we've seen? One of those things that
not at all
should have been. Okay.
Not at all. It all seems to fall right in place. And again, as weird as it's gonna sound, I'm not surprised because I know what a piece of shit the original Xbox One is. So in order for me to be surprised, I have to have never owned the original Xbox One. When you tell somebody you can go from the Xbox One to the Xbox X and you've owned the Xbox One for the last 3-4 years, of course you're going to run out and buy it. The problem with that is you're not bringing in new customers.
Yeah.
All of your customers are going to be existing customers.
Yeah, and so far, I don't know anybody that's gone out to buy coming from the UK. But they've sold 80,000 in the UK, and they've outsold the Pro, and they've outsold the Nintendo Switch. So they did with the they did what the Pro did in like 1 or 2 days. Took the Pro a month to do, which isn't bad for the Pro either. To get 29 days, you know, that's the way they over there is 29 days and they report.
Definitely.
Yeah, but this is good. This is good. Since the raw data show they sold 67,000, I guess Scorpio versions. So, and again, if you don't have the Scorpio version, just go to an embroidering place, what it's called, and they'll put it on there for like $16. They'll put, I mean, seriously, because you got the exact same thing that everybody else got. So, it doesn't say. I guess the other one says Project Scorpio. So, but shout out to everybody that went out and got one. It's a success. It's a successful launch. This is really good. Let's make that clear. So, if you're still looking to buy one, buy one. And they just added Ghost Recon Wildlands with HDR and all that stuff. And again, if you have the Pro, you already have had that. I mean, I forgot when Ghost Recon came out, but the Pro build was HDR and enhanced, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it was already doing that. So, but this is great news. So shout out to everybody that went out and bought one. Hopefully it didn't brick. It didn't mess up. You know, so, and everybody's been able to enjoy it. So I do recommend, shout out to Hard 8. And shout out to Jimmy B Gaming. You do need to have another hard drive. You know, whichever one you want to buy, it's up to you. But if you're going to be putting in 4K textures, you're going to be able to hold maybe an average of 4 to 6 games, and then you're going to run out of space. So, but that's neither here nor there. That's not a knock on the console. The console is what it is. You know that going in. Nobody's surprised. But so you're not surprised by these sales at all, then?
I am not surprised in the least, man. Halo Storm, man, you be damage controlling like a motherfucker, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you see that, Craig?
Nah, what's the damage control? It sold well. What's the damage control? I don't understand that.
This man here is funny. He's a funny one, man. He's a real funny one. But no. Like, in all seriousness, man, all jokes aside, if you're looking at the Xbox One X and you're thinking to yourself, man, this sold phenomenally, come back and talk to me in January. After all the people upgrade.
Go ahead.
After all of the people who had the old Xbox upgrade, come talk to me in January. Matter of fact, that means the Xbox One X, well, the Xbox family, let's just say that, should win November, December, January, maybe? Yeah. No. We're just gonna say November, December. They should win November and December MPD if those individuals who bought the X were new customers. Now, we all know that's not true. Just look around the internet. Just look at the people who bought them. Just look at the people who bought 2, 3, 4, 5 Xboxes. Do those look like new customers to you? I mean, that's honestly just the truth. But here's the thing. It's not to take anything away from it, but at the same time, those people who are upgrading to the Xbox One X, those were potential people who could have, if they didn't own an Xbox, they could have got the Xbox One S. So those are less sales that are there for the Xbox One S if you look at it. And the way Microsoft is marketing this thing, people ain't gonna even know an S exists. They're gonna think that the X is the only available console.
Yeah, and all right, Halo Storm. Look, it's 6 to games is the aggregate. Okay, you might be able to get 12 games on there. You might, but the average is only getting about 6 to 8 games. So there's nothing to damage control. I don't understand that. That is the aggregate. You need to, dude, you guys to grow up, man. I'm saying it to be serious. You need to grow up. There's nothing to damage control. It's a successful launch. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I'm getting a lot of crazy distortion on my end, but I think it's something with my setup on this side. So I'm gonna drop out real quick. I'll be back in like 5 to 6 minutes. I'm gonna restart my computer.
All right. Yeah.
I'll be right back though.
All right. So all right, we may be having some technical difficulties, guys. I don't know. If it sounds distorted over there in the chat, let me know. Hit a 1 if it sounds distorted. I don't know why the screen's up there doing that. I tried to drop my bandwidth, so. Oh, okay. Let me go to the live screen. I don't know if that'll help, but yeah, you guys really, I don't know what is there to damage control. The launch has been successful. They've done what they were supposed to do. There have been some that have failed, but Microsoft will take care of that. So that's a good thing. So you know, you have 3 terabytes, so that's fine. You know, that you have 3 terabytes. I just said that you may need to buy more space. The system is 1 terabyte. So, all right, so it sounds good. Okay. So that's the problem, Halo Storm. You got to understand, dude, you are 5%. You're in that 5% of BS that's going on. Okay. Everybody else understands it's 1 terabyte. And, you know, both shout out again to Jimmy B Gaming and to Hard 8, who have said things like, you may need some more space on that hard drive because it's going to fill up real fast. That's the truth. That doesn't mean it's bad. Okay. You think that, I mean, but I get what you 5%ers think. Okay. That's why I'm the Pope. Okay. So what's up, Mr. Sanchez? So, you know, it is what it is. You run out of space faster, the more assets you're putting into the library. That's just reality. Get over it. So, oh, you're talking about the chat? Okay. The Lizard Squad. Nah, look, we don't want nobody getting their stuff hacked, okay? Come on, guys. It's just, y'all got to let that go. You know, y'all got to let that go. Halo Storm, everybody's a fanboy, okay? It's okay to be a fan of something. I'm a fanboy of Star Wars, okay? But I'm not going to turn around and just lie, okay, about it. I mean, like I said, the game is having trouble. So, no, I mean, because that's what he wants, Trey. You're right. He needs that, but that's what he wants. The fact is the facts are not going to change. Successful launch. Unfortunately, people are running out of hard drive space soon. Several people have said they've gone out and gotten different hard drives for more space. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But you need to know that going in. End of story. Doesn't mean the console's terrible. I mean, it's unbelievable how stupid you 5%ers are, but you are. That's who you are. So 95% of the people that bought the Xbox One understand 1 terabyte will fill up fast with all these 4K assets, but you don't. You don't. You're having trouble over there.
Hey, so, Craig, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, bro. Yeah.
All right. I moved to a whole different setup in my house anyway. I moved to a totally different computer. But, okay. You can go ahead now. I mean, you're going to have to re-ask me the stuff that you asked before because I could barely hear anything.
Oh, okay. I'd asked you about, did you think the sales? Okay, let me ask you this. Have you played Killer Instinct?
Yes.
Okay. What exactly is the download on that? Is it 100 gigs?
I could tell you right now.
All right.
I could
tell you. Halo Storm, we're going to find out right now if somebody was frauding.
Hey, turn it to the Xbox real quick. I could tell you right now. I'm going to my enhanced games.
All right. Which that right there, well, I don't want to mess up my surprise. When you're on your toolbar, and I don't know how you have it set, was it hard to find the enhanced game library versus on the S? If you just have the Xbox S, is there like a different screen to go to, or is it something that pops up for you automatically?
It's something that pops up and it gives you the option to look at those specific games, at those specific titles. If you only want to see the Xbox One enhanced games, like, okay, you know how when you go to the apps and game screen,
yeah,
and then you see games, apps, memberships ready to install, update, and queue. When you click on the games tab, all the way to the right, you'll see something that says all, because it's showing all the games, no matter if it's an Xbox One, Xbox 360 game. But now it has another option in there that says Xbox One enhanced games.
Oh.
And this, whoa, no, I don't want to start it. Let's see. Jesus. When it started it anyway. Okay, manage game. It is what the hell is all this? Holy Jesus. Okay. Oh, because they gave me the season 2 and all of that good stuff. Interesting enough, man. I am only seeing right now for this game. Yeah, I am only seeing 47.1 gigabytes. I don't even think I downloaded. Yeah, and that's all it's showing, and it doesn't show me anything in the queue ready to be installed either. You know what? Let me double check this because I think that's wrong. I think it's supposed to be more than that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was asking. I'm gonna pull up this other screens. We're gonna talk about the Titanfall 2 fix.
Oh, and, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and pull this up right now. Here. And this is coming from Digital Foundry. And again, like I said, I've already played Titanfall 2. Let's see here. We'll just go here. This is the improvements because, of course, everybody knows the original Titanfall came out and they compared it. They being Digital Foundry compared it to the Pro, and the Pro was doing just as good, or if not better, however you want to put it. It was right there with it. Again, at 4.2 T-flops, it was doing about the same, and the X is supposed to be doing a little bit more. All right. So it says to cover off the matter of resolution scaling, Titanfall 2 improves dramatically on Xbox One X. The 864p to 1080p stress point we identified on X PS4 Pro now shifts markedly to a 1440p 1080p split in favor of the new Microsoft console. So this console, the Xbox One X, the beast, is at 1440p at the high point of where they were. Now, it says in-game pixel counts in campaign gunplay now seems to vary between 1440p and 1800p. The console doing a little bit more. And I don't have a problem with 1800p. Mass Effect Andromeda is 1800p. Horizon Zero Dawn is 1800p. I don't have a problem with 1440p. Uncharted Lost Legacy is 1440p. There was something else. Hitman, 1440p. I mean, again, I prefer 1440p over anything else. That's just me. I mean, that's me. Everybody's different. So this console is doing a little bit more. I'm tired of being right. It's a curse being right this much, So
right.
And all right. So what do you think of this? This is the new number. Now this is the new number. What do you think of these new numbers? First things first, it is an improvement over the patch. It makes it better than that initial build. So what do you think about this improvement?
I think that, hey, I think now the Xbox guys get to experience the pro version of the patch. That's what I mean, because literally, I mean, when I listen, and this is just me, but when I listen to Rich and Dave, because those were the two that were doing the analysis, they both sounded very disappointed. They were like, well, so he was like, so it is 1440p and it maxes out around 1800p, but it doesn't quite hit that 4K mark. That's kind of what he was saying. But then, it's so weird to me, man. And I don't know if it's just me, dog. Like, listen, I'm not putting on a tinfoil hat or nothing like that. I'm not talking about no secret sauce. I'm not talking about no DirectX. I'm not talking about any fucking thing outside of the way they talk. It seems like they have some type of leash on them where they want to tell the truth, but they almost can't tell the truth. And it's, I don't know if I'm just the only person who hears that when I listen to them, but that's kind of how they sound. They sound like they want to say, it's just slightly better. But then again, they have to make it seem like it's a world of difference better. But even at the end, Richard ends up saying, well, it's just pretty much like a pro. What did he say? He said a pro, like a incremental update to the pro. That's
it does a little bit
what
more.
He said. That's exactly what I took away from that. But it's just like he tried to find anything, and he just couldn't pull it out. He just couldn't pull it out, and it's just like he doesn't want to lie, but he has to make it look positive for Microsoft. That's kind of how I feel. And that's okay. But just tell us that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just starting to sound so weird to me now. Like, I still like them. I still like what they do. I think they do it better than a lot of other people. But, fam, just keep it real with the people watching you, bro.
Yeah, now, to be fair, the cutscenes, I don't know how important this is to people. The cutscenes are locked 60 on Xbox X, and they are not on the Pro. So if you want locked FPS on your cutscenes, I mean, if that's important to you, that is definitely that better. Now, and there's another game, Madden, that does a similar thing. So on the Pro, the cutscenes are 30 FPS. They're 60 on the Xbox X. So if a player gets up and gets a first down and makes the first down symbol or sign, it's going to run at 60 frames per second on the X. It's only going to run at 30 on the Pro. Everything else is the same. Again, it's a little bit more. All right, that's what so if you're really going to get down and fanboy out, you need to start talking about these cutscenes. So
60 frames.
Yeah, because the cutscenes do run better.
Yeah.
So of course they're saying here, they're comparing, now they're talking about the PC, something called a 1080 Ti, which apparently is pushing everything at top end. So if that's what you want, the 1080 Ti, I guess, is the way to go. Digital Foundry did do a comparison, the 1070 versus the Vega. I don't know if it was a 56 or 40, one of those Vegas, the new ones that came out. That just came out this morning, so hadn't been able to look at it yet. So, but yeah, and you can pay an extra $5 on Patreon and get access to their 4K vault. So yeah, if you all want to go check this out, they've got this up. I just pulled the article. It's Eurogamer.net. And this is why I like when people say everybody's fanboying. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this for myself. There's nothing to fanboy.
Apparently, your eyes doesn't matter. If it doesn't go along with the rhetoric, your eyes are completely wrong. What you see it's not what it is.
I forget about what I'm seeing on the screen. Take the screen out. Let's just say I'm blind and it's Braille. Okay?
Oh yeah.
If it's going to tell me, that it is not doing that much different, that falls into. I'm not here to say it's not any difference at all. I don't want people to think that a little bit more means. It means a little bit more. I mean, that's exactly what it means, and it should be, because we're talking about 1 year. And we were talking about 1 year and one, and a new console, later. So and it should be a little bit more. I'm not knocking a little bit more. So I was telling somebody this morning, they were talking about that GT Sport picture compared to They said it was compared to Forza 6. They said it's not fair. That's an unfair comparison. It's a different car. That's Forza 6.
How is that an unfair comparison?
Yeah, which I tweeted back. I said, yet there's people online comparing a 2016 console to a 2017 console. And I put a question mark. Same thing. It's silly either way.
Holy shit. So okay, so I'm looking at these game patches, and I don't know. I have season 1 and season 2 of Killer Instinct, and my file is only 47.1 gigs.
Okay.
That's all I'm getting there. But when I go to Quantum Break is oh my gosh, I hate this UI. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
It's a quantum.
But it's 102.5 gigabytes and 75.6 gigabytes of, well, no, there's an additional 75.6 gigabytes, which is the Quantum Break episode pack. So it's a total of 178.1 gigabytes
for Quantum Break. Wow. All right, now to Melissa. I hope I'm saying, I'm going to say Mr. Reese here in the chat. He says he thinks it's more than a little bit more. And it's not a little bit more, it's a little bit more. You got to drop the R and the E. It's 100% resolution on some games. Yes, some games equals a little bit more. It's not every game. We were supposed to see, according to some people on the internet, we were supposed to see such a dramatic leap, and in the games are going to look so much better. People are going to leave the pro system. So
wait, Craig, ask him this: what game is doing more than a little bit more?
Well, I can tell you the one that you all have told me is Shadow of War.
Shadow of War. That's the only one where you see a definite difference. Like, there is no questions about it. Game looks phenomenal. Yeah. That's it. When you play anything else, it's just a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you play Titanfall 2, it's just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
When you play Call of Duty, Star Wars, just a little bit more. When you play Need for Speed Payback, just a little bit more. And that little bit more is usually like a small resolution bump, or it'll be like enhanced like shadows or some shit like that. Just some shit that you have to like pay close attention to. I mean, listen, it's not damage control. It's literally just telling you what it is. Because what happens is people are going to rush out and go buy this thing, and they're going to be feeling like me. They're going to have buyer's remorse. And I'm not going to lie, I've been feeling that way for quite some time now, Craig, and I've been very vocal about it on Twitter, man. Like I don't see what other people are seeing, and I'm trying, dog. I'm really trying. Now, if you really want to have the greatest experience ever for your multiplats, legit, go get you a PC. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to get a super duper astronomical super powered rig. You can get something with a 1070. 1070 is like you can find it for like $400 for that graphic card. I mean, that's if you want complete control, you want good frame rates, you want good resolutions. That's the only thing I can tell you. Because
Battlefront 2. Hey, not the interruption. All right, Halo Storm. Let's say you're correct. Okay, let's give him Battlefront 2. That's 2 games. That's 2 games out of the aggregate. That's not a whole lot of games. Okay, and I'm giving you Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm just okay, fine. Even though there's more content on the Pro. So, all right. So that to me evens it out. But let's just go with your logic. Okay, that's 2 games that we can name. Out of all the multiplats that were supposed to be, again, a giant difference. Again, not my words, not Sick Humor's words, not J-Dub's words, you all's words on that podcast.
Hey, listen,
that's a fact.
If you think Battlefield, if you think Battlefront is a big upgrade, go and grab that shit. Go and grab it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, and I'm not here to say that it's not, but let's just say
that it's not from a person who has it, who's
yeah, you have it. Yeah, I don't have it.
Like,
so
it's not that big of a difference. And everybody who finally gets it with their 1X, they're gonna realize, okay, I mean, it looks good, but it looks the same when you look at it on PlayStation.
And a Savage Yuger saying that the graphical setting is the same on X and Xbox One. I mean, I'm
pretty sure that they have something dialed up in the background. I'm not quite sure what it is because I can't see it with the naked eye, but I'm pretty sure they have some ambient occlusion or some I don't know, some type of effects going on that I'm pretty sure if you pay close enough attention, you can see it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And I'm just happy that Iden Verso is going to be in my living room here pretty soon, or in wherever we plug this thing. So that's what I'm excited about. Getting to the how Luke Skywalker found it.
Greg, I can't wait till you get an Xbox One X, bro. When you get it and you finally play it, then you will be able to say for sure from your eyes to what you're seeing on the screen, you'll see that what's being said is not a bullshit lie, bro.
Oh yeah, well that's why I'm glad you guys are able to come on and keep the keep the record straight. We're gonna now move into the bigger. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You always need those people. You always have those people who are just gonna try and justify anything and say that anything is better, and they're gonna tell you that you're damage controlling when you say it's not.
Wow.
I mean, that's just what it is. Listen, and the reason why I always tell them that the difference between the Pro and the Xbox One X is not as big as it was with the PlayStation 4 and vanilla Xbox One is the simple fact that the vanilla PS4 was not checkerboard rendering. Now,
yeah, now let me say to this. Now, I was going to ask you, do you think, because my personal opinion is that's what they thought was going to happen. And again, this is just my personal opinion, is that they thought this is going to be their 1080p, 720p moment on the X. And I'm not here to say that it won't get like that in 2 to 3 years. Have got more time. But overall, what's been going on? Okay, there's too many words like same, this is too many words like that being you should not have a adjective and adverb, saying same and things like that.
Put it this way, Craig.
So do you think it was going to be that kind of a moment? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Put it this way, Craig. I'm gonna give you a difference here, right? Shadow of War, right? What do you think the download size of Shadow of War is?
For Xbox? All that package and stuff like that. I'll say base game plus that. This is a guess. I'll say 85.
Nope.
Higher or lower?
For Shadow of War, you're looking at about 65.7 gigabytes.
Okay.
65.7 gigabytes. Now, the reason why I said don't expect too much is simply because when you look at Star Wars Battlefront, that game is only like 50 gigabytes.
Oh.
It's only like
I see what you're saying. Because it has a lower number, there's
higher resolution textures take more. It's more. Compare a 4K picture to a 1440p picture to a 1080p picture. The size is going to be different. It's going to be a difference. Why do you think Gears of War is so fucking huge? Gears of War is like 100
and everybody says Gears
like 3 gigabytes. To be honest with you, the only reason why Quantum Break is that big is because of them damn movie files. If it wasn't for the movie files, it'll be like maybe 100, 103, around the same as Gears of War.
Wow. But I see what you're saying, because it's around 50 to 57. It's not going to be as big a difference as what people are thinking, because that file size is small. Is that what you're saying?
It's definitely smaller. I mean, and there's a lot of content in Star Wars. A lot of content.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'm still buying it. I agree with what you said earlier, that it very well may be one of the best games ever made, but it's taking so much heat right now. It may not have a good, and I hate that.
I think they're going to come back, man. I think they're going to ultimately roll back all the bullshit they're doing, and they're going to probably chuck it up and take a loss on Battlefront 2, man. They really are. And they've already started doing some rollbacks. I mean, if you look at the cost, I mean, I know they said the reward for beating the single player campaign, they rolled that back 75% as well. But at the end of the day, man, do you really, I mean, you're going to be playing a game for endless hours anyway, for those people who play multiplayer. Like, that's what they do. They get on multiplayer and they play for hours on end. I mean,
and is it this weekend or next weekend that Sony is having a free weekend of multiplayer? I think that's part of the Star Wars deal. It wouldn't shock me if that's part of the deal. The game comes out Friday, you got multiplayer for free. I don't know if it's this weekend or the weekend of Thanksgiving. So, but I want to get to this Call of Duty one, because again, this is a multiplayer game, and the multiplayer, and I'm not buying Call of Duty. I've said that I'd much rather play Wolfenstein. Okay, Wolfenstein wins 100 over 100 times for me. For me, this is no knock.
I'm one of those people who I talk shit about Call of Duty every year, and every year I go out and buy it.
And from all indications, it's really good. I mean, talk about the people that have played it, they really enjoy it. But it says here, and I came down here a little bit here because there was nothing in this part of it, as far as they're talking about the budget of it, how it's running. It's running 60 frames per second. Again, I'm not taking anything away from anything. I like to get to the bare bones of my meal, which is I want somebody in the Xbox community to come into the podcast at any given time and say, no, it's doing way more than a little bit more. It's doing a lot more. So this is another multi-plat game. We've already talked about Titanfall, FIFA 18. FIFA, believe it or not, is one of the biggest selling games, folks, in the world.
It definitely is. But hear me out, Craig.
Yeah, go ahead.
On all the games that Sony has to deal with, what is one thing that you see in common with every last one of these games? Because I'm fair. People don't believe I'm fair because I talk about the precious piece of plastic, but I'm fair across the board. Every game that Sony has a marketing deal with does not look. There's no real difference between the games. You ever realized and looked at that? But people will say, yeah, you're right about that. But then they'll turn around and be like, no, Microsoft didn't hold back the pro version of Shadow of War. I mean, how much more proof do you need, bro? The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually nice. I like that. That's critical thinking. Yeah, that's actually a head scratch. One of those things what Arsenio Hall used to say back in the day. There are things that make you go,
Yeah, and I looked at that. Now here's the thing: on paper, the Xbox One X is significantly. I am not going to say significantly, but it's definitely much better as far as in the GPU processing power, and also the RAM that's allocated. The CPU is the same bullshit. It's the same fucking bullshit. I don't care what they want to say about that. But the GPU is what 1.8 teraflops more than what Sony has to offer, and the RAM is what four gigs more than what Sony has to offer. So I mean, if you look at it through that lens, none of these games should look the same. None of them.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It should be I shouldn't be seeing words like I saw in the Titanfall video or what Digital Foundry said about Titanfall, what I saw about Assassin's Creed. Those words are not good words. And shout out to Psycho Gamer because he came in the podcast and said, yeah, it's that's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, so shout out to him, So, but let's get into this meat and potatoes here. Then we'll go in on this. And this is I kind of skimmed over this. So I kind of know what's in here, but this is a multi-plat game that somebody told me on another podcast was going to all the multi-plat games are going to look and run better. So here we go. So here's another big multi-plat game. I think everybody can assume. Again, you can go to the store and get Call of Duty on the Xbox One, on the Xbox and the Pro. So it's a multi-plat game. I guess you can get it on PC. So it's a multi-plat. So here we go, folks. And this is Digital Foundry. This has got nothing to do with me. This is okay. This is the group that you all said was good, then they were bad. Now they're back to good. Now you all are again scratching your head. So, but here we go. So it says there's a sense Sledgehammer may have pulled back slightly from the super dense post-process approach seen in Infinite Warfare. Well, I liked Infinite Warfare. So, all right, film grain is pared back a touch for starters. But there's still the feeling the developer is aiming for a more cinematic look to the title, which means, again, they're just wanting it to kind of look like a movie. So let's
they are going for a certain time period, but it's still that whole cinematic talk is just bullshit.
This is Digital Foundry being Digital Foundry. So, all right. So it says similar to many titles we've seen recently, the game employs a heavy temporal component in its anti-aliasing, meaning that the traditional super rich detail level associated with native rendering in video games is absent. So, all right, there you go, your first warning. So, so you can call the presentation soft, but by that chalk, the same can be said for any movie or TV show. Like it or not, techniques such as these represent the future of video game aesthetic. So this is a technique that's going to allegedly be deployed later on. I know they're doing this in Spider-Man. Kind of technique, people. So I don't want to hear people laughing. So it says by extension, that makes pixel counting, which relies heavily on flat geometric edges, very difficult to deploy on this title.
Right.
Similar to other games that rely heavily on temporal anti-aliasing, the difference between Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro primarily comes down to clarity. Can you say a little bit more? That literally means it's going to be brighter. Your clarity means it's brighter. They show that Claritin commercial. It is foggy at first, and the person takes a Claritin, and it gets a little bit clear. And it doesn't get that much clear. It gets a little more clear. Okay. So I work in the medical field. I can tell you it helps a little bit, but nevertheless, all right. Shout out to those guys at S.E. Johnson Wax. So,
but
all right,
go ahead. Here's the thing. It's not what you think what you think it'll be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you look at Digital Foundry videos, when they start pointing things out, they start super zooming. I don't know anybody who's going to get that close to the picture. That's why I say the upgrade isn't worth it. It isn't worth it unless it's worth it if you're coming from the OG Xbox One S. It's definitely 1000% worth it, and I cannot stress that enough, because now you will finally be able to play your games the way they were meant to be played in the beginning. That's just the honest truth. But To tell somebody they're gonna pay $100 more to see something that requires them to put their nose on their TV screen, I'm thinking it's a no. It's definitely a no. If I would know now, if I knew then what I know now, I definitely wouldn't have wasted $500 on it.
Well, let's read some more. Let's read some more. I want everybody to come in on this because, all right, this is a big one right here. Now, this is Digital Foundry. Now, it says the Microsoft platform does render more pixels more of the time. More of the time. All right. Now, because it's rendering more pixels, that's why you have this word clarity. Okay. That's why that word is there. More pixels, more clarity. All right. And this primary manifests by presenting additional detail in the image. Uh-oh, guys. Are you ready? It's no game changer, though. Things just look a little clearer for most of the time. And can you all say a little bit more?
How dare you say it's not a game changer? It most certainly is a game changer. The Xbox One X is going to give it to you. It's going to give it to you. Yo, you know what's so funny? I was playing Forza Horizon 3 yesterday, right? And I swear, when I bought my first 2 radio stations, that was the first song that was playing. X going to give it to you. He going to give it to you. I was like, what the fuck is this? Yo, that game is legit fun, though, man. Forza
Horizon, I love that game.
It's really fun. It's a beautiful game, man. Beautiful game.
Whoever who decided to do the Hot Wheels thing, they should just be like in charge of the world, because that, I haven't gotten to that yet, but that looks so much fun to drive on those tracks and do the loops and all that kind of stuff. And I can't wait to get into that. But it's supposed to get a patch here. I don't know when, but so I'm waiting. I'm trying to save space for that, and then I gotta have space for my well, I don't want to spoil anything. I may have enough.
What's going to get a patch? What's going to get a patch?
Horizon.
It already got its patch.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I may have an unboxing here. Then, ladies, I got to get my camera fixed. Okay, but here we go with this article. As we can see, here's no game changer though. Now, I want the Xbox community before the Pope of Xbox firmly submits his church up your ass. I want these 5%ers to explain why now we've got Assassin's Creed, we've got this game right here, we've got FIFA, we got Mass Effect. Where's my Mass Effect?
You just said something that was real important though, Greg. And I didn't even think about it. Assassin's Creed is just doing a touch more, but that's a game that Microsoft has the marketing deal for. So maybe my whole logic is completely flawed. Now that I think about it.
That could be out of the aggregate, though. That could be the outlier, which we have to wait and see. But it's hard to tell because Xbox they got Madden doing a little bit more. All right, we know that. Okay, that's been already said by EA. So we've got the Xbox, and I'm not. Look, I want everybody to get this clear. I'm not knocking the Xbox X. I'm knocking these clowns who said it was going to be. You know, I was going to knock at the door and Halle Berry was going to come into my house. Clowns were pretty much saying, you know, and I want you all to understand that 95% of the Xbox community isn't like this, okay? They're more like my man here, Sick Humor. They're more like the people that I'm friends with on Xbox. And the people I'm friends with on Xbox don't act like these 5%ers. Trust me. That's why I'm really wanting you guys to really try to learn, compartmentalize the lunacy coming out of their mouths.
But you know what? I don't blame them, though. I don't blame them. They're only repeating what Microsoft has been saying. I mean, we've heard it. We've heard that it's a beast, it's a monster. When you say words like that, you're basically telling people that it's going to be super duper amazing. You know what I mean? And the problem is when you set their expectations that high and then you have to start scaling back, that's when it starts to look funny. And the problem is nobody is willing to call Microsoft out on their bullshit. You know what I mean? Like everybody is just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give them a pass. We'll give them a pass. All they've been getting is passes. They haven't been producing games. We gave them a pass. You know what I mean? This is their third console revision. Revision. Everybody keeps giving them a pass. You know what I mean? Like, at what point do you stop giving them a pass, though?
At what point do you hold them accountable?
I always said to wait. I told people, why don't you all just wait to see exactly what you're going to get? And it's no 4K native to the death, Negro, to the death, Negro. That's what they started saying over there. And obviously, and we'll get into that here. Let me get through this, but I want to ask you about the checkerboard rendering, and I really want your opinion on that.
Sure.
Here shortly, because all of a sudden it's okay. I'll throw it to you on that. So let me finish reading this though. So it says it's early days here, but our impressions is that World War II, talked about Call of Duty, employs dynamic resolution scaling. Okay, on both systems. So why don't the people, not you two, why don't you guys on that podcast go put your heads in the sand? Dynamic resolution means it's not native.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. And look, I'm not knocking checkerboarding. I'm not knocking dynamic. I'm not knocking sparse. Not doing that. I've never done that. I think it's good, solid, found technique to get to your buffer. But don't give me this 4K to the death, Negro, to the death, okay? Because obviously this is the Star Wars Battlefront. We've got Assassin's Creed. We've got Call of Duty. Again, multiplats. You all swore up and down, and I've got that podcast saved, so do not make me use that and blow you all up. You know?
Craig, you still got your regular Xbox?
Yeah, that's the only one I've got. Wink,
okay.
wink.
Okay. Just so people don't think I'm bullshitting, you could literally go look at my gamer tag right now. It'll show you what game I'm playing on the Xbox.
All right. Oh,
hell. I'll take people think,
turn that on.
Yeah, no, because you know what it is? People always want to say, oh, no, you're just lying. You're just saying this and that. But honestly, I'm looking at this game right now, and I am so unimpressed. I am really not impressed. And that's just what it is, because my expectations were higher. I'm holding Microsoft to their word that they were going to provide a 4K, a true 4K beast. And this just
but come on now. They wordsmithed that. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah, they did.
They wordsmithed it because to them, as long as they hit that buffer, even one time per minute, they can say, and they can say we're hitting 4K, and that's more of that's actually allowed in the United States. It's called deceptive marketing, which they are. The Supreme Court of the United States said it's okay to do that. It's up to the consumer to know what he or she is buying. Not, that's reality. That's what really came out of the the whole thing with the smoking giving you cancer and all that kind of stuff. That's right. That was the deception. That came out of that case. But let me get back into it. So we got dynamic resolution again. So we hopefully these guys were just STFU. That's all I can say. I'm talking about the 5%ers, not the people who go out and you see every day, whether it's at the grocery store, at the Walmart, or pick your favorite store. They're buying Xbox games, they're putting them in their cart, they're taking them home to play because they don't care. Okay, so it says here, whether it's a checkerboard style side effect or a product of temporal upscaling remains to be seen, because they're going to have to do a deeper test. So it looks like this is just a skim test. It says, but we feel there's more work to be done here on how World War II makes this final resolve pass for 2160p. Again, they're either doing it dynamically or checkerboard, maybe a little bit of both. So the comparison shots below offer up a fairly good indication of how this game presents overall. You won't be getting a super clean look on either game, and that was never Sledgehammer's intent. So these people who are running around saying how much better it looks, you're lying. Because Sledgehammer, the people that make the game, didn't even intend to do that.
But Craig,
so that's your first one.
How many times have I told you that, Craig? How many times have I told you that these people are overblowing what the capabilities of this system is? And the problem with it is that people are going to rush out and buy it, and then they're going to have immediate buyer's remorse. Especially if, let's say, they had a Pro and then they went to go get an Xbox One X because they thought it was going to be so much better. Dude, they're going to be so pissed. They're going to be so pissed.
Well, I've heard several people reiterate that if they said from the Xbox One or Xbox One S to this, it's like you said, it's 1,000% jump. It's dimes to quarters, however you want to put it. But if you had the Pro and you've already seen enhanced games, you've already seen checkerboard at 4K, dynamic 4K, this just isn't a huge deal. But I'm not knocking it because it's like you can't say that and then they get upset. It's like, okay, look, I'm not knocking it. It's just not that big a deal.
It really is.
And I'm not here to say it don't look good because I've seen this game being played at a friend of mine's house, and it looks good. I mean, it looks good. It sounds good. It does have some historical accuracies in there. So, but let's keep reading because it says, to be fair, it says Xbox One X offers up more detail overall and fewer upscaling issues. So this goes back to the clarity, and this goes back. They're having fewer upscaling issues, meaning that this is where their power does come in because they're not having as many slips. I guess it's the Pro, but it's just not enough. So there are some extra bonuses on top. It says shadow detail is heavily filtered on both systems, but there's clearly more definition on Xbox One X. That's a good thing. Is it $100 good? That's what the consumer, has to go. It's more subtle, still the ambient occlusion, shading in the nooks and crannies. I can't believe they actually wrote that, but they did effectively, which again seems to have been pushed up a notch on the Microsoft system. So they're literally saying that it has better shadows, which again, you're playing a game. I don't know what the shadowing has to do with it. It's a shadow, for Christ's sake, but
technically, if you have a slightly better shadow, that's a difference. That's a difference. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
a little bit of a difference. I'm not here to say it's not. I'm giving it its due. It says, all told, out here we're coming to the end. This is where you're going to go, I need something, says, all told, the new Call of Duty, which is a multi-pack, looks great on a 4K display with the visual payoff improved on Xbox One X, but not exactly to a dramatic extent. Now, I want somebody in the Xbox community to tell me why this doesn't mean a little bit more. This is Digital Foundry, and it says it says, I'll read that again. The visual payoff improved on Xbox One X is there. Let's make that clear. But exactly to a dramatic extent. And I'm reading this verbatim. So I hope Widowmaker, if he's still sub, I hope he sees this. I want all these jabronis, and I'm trying to clean it up over here. That's part of my New Year's thing, because my girls' kids are like, we listened to your podcast and you're saying bad words, and it's kind of like, all right, So I got to try to make a podcast for them so they would be proud to say, yeah, right. I can listen to the podcast. So I'm trying to clean it up. It takes time. I ended it, but like a New Year's resolution, guys. I still got 6 weeks of outright honoriness, so the church is going to continue to be built on the blood of these 5%ers. Every time you all lie, that's just one more notch in my belt. And that's what so if you all stop lying, my church goes away. That's the deal.
You know what the big knife in the stomach is, though, with this whole situation? It's that they waited an entire year for this. You waited an entire year just to hear it's just doing a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why it hurts.
I guess that's why it hurts.
That's like getting the girl. Somebody just tweeted me, said it's like getting the girl home after talking all this shit in her ear, and then you last for like 10 seconds. That's what you guys sound like to me. I mean, that's a very good point.
If anybody has an Xbox One X, my gamer tag is Humor TV. You can go and you'll see exactly what I'm playing right now.
And I'll get to that later. I'll send you an invite after you're done playing, because I hate when I'm playing and somebody tries to get in contact with me. That's me, though. All right, so it says, okay, we're all at 60 FPS, which I think everybody's happy with, because I keep hearing, again, it's, to me, I don't care for 30 FPS to me on a console's fine. And I've been consistent with that. I've heard nothing.
Fine to me too. I mean, after playing Horizon Zero Dawn, it's super smooth, man.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn, the you just brought up the Forza 3. That's 30 frames per second. Like you said, it's super fun.
It is.
Drive Club. Yeah, Drive Club. Again, 30 frames per second. And for what I understand, people are loving that game. So again, that's just me though. So
you know why I love Forza Horizon though, man? I swear it reminds me of Need for Speed, man. I swear it does, dog. Like every time I play it,
yeah,
it reminds me of, it gives me a Need for Speed feel, like that arcadey type feel.
Yeah, well, yeah, and man, I wish. See, I remember when Need for Speed back in the day was huge, but then when Gran Turismo 3 came out, it blew everybody away. It put a cramp into Need for Speed. It made Ridge Racer go out of business. I mean, Ridge Racer was like the Hot Wheels track. Yeah, that was a great game. You know, we're showing our age here, guys. But Ridge Racers, the Project Gotham Racings, those were all really good games. Okay,
down here we have the swap shop, dude. We used to go to the swap shop like every weekend and play that game because they had like a video arcade inside of the swap shop. Man, Ridge Racer was legit one of the funnest racing games ever.
Yeah. Now here's a great article. Let me read this one real quick because this again, it's up here, and you all can read this article yourself. I have a guest here, so I don't want to read it verbatim. He's got. You know, you got to be nice to the guests, okay? But listen, let me read this right here. It says, in order to make the levels as large and as expansive as modern games demand, and to keep initial load times to a minimum, data is typically streamed and decompressed in the background as you play. On many games, this can result in momentary pauses, and in World War II, this happens fairly frequently on both PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. Can you all shut the F up now? Because you do not want me going into podcasts with this kind of ammunition talking about, we'll debate this guy. No, absolutely not.
They're talking about the hitching in the game.
Well, yeah, according to this article, according to this part of this article, it says that on many games, it's talking about, I guess, when it's got to load things up. It says that it result in monetary pauses, which again is a console. This is one of the compromises of the console. Okay. And it says in World War II, this happens fairly frequently on both PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. That's okay. That right there is extremely bad. And now I get it. Console players, as a console person, this is one of the compromises you expect. Things like that. So, and until they can get the CPU fixed, you're going to constantly have this. So on console, see on PC, I bet you don't have this kind of problem on PC. So, so it's one of the blemishes on an otherwise flawless level of performance. So they're just trying to give you a balance, saying, okay, it's really, really good, but this may happen fairly frequently. Now, again, I haven't played it, but this is one of the things that it could happen to you. But it's happening to you on both consoles. You feel me? So if it's happening to you on both, and one, I've seen that 6 greater than 4, and you hear beast is coming, you hear people are afraid. Get the F out of here with your BS when they're both doing the same thing. So this means a little bit more. This is what I'm talking about. Okay? This proves what I'm saying. I shouldn't get words like I shouldn't get things like this, okay? I shouldn't get monetary pauses on the beast is coming, okay? I shouldn't get Digital Foundry, who a lot of you guys will now take out in the back and try to go Roy Moore on them, okay? That's what you guys want to do to Digital Foundry now. So I'm getting words like clarity. I'm getting no game changer. I mean, come on, folks. I mean, come on. Let's do some critical thinking. I'm not here to say the console isn't good. I'm not here to say it's bad. I'm here to say it does a little bit more.
No, the console.
And I dare somebody to try to stop me.
The console is good for what it is. You know what I mean? But I think people's idea of the console is, I think they're holding it to too high of a standard, to the point where when games don't live up to that standard, then they're going to start blaming developers. But the problem is the developer can only work with what they have. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you're telling a developer, somebody who makes games for a living, that you're lazy, first of all, nobody who does not develop games can call a developer lazy. You just can't fucking do it. You can't do it.
Yeah.
That's like me going to a plumber and telling them, "Oh, you're a lazy ass plumber," but I can't do anything that revolves around plumbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna tell this person about their craft? How do you do that?
Good point.
That's all I want to know. I mean, if you're gonna tell me that this developer is lazy, go make a game for me. Go make a game and then show me what you can do versus what that person does. This is not to say that developers can't be critiqued. Everybody can be critiqued, but quit saying shit like the developer is lazy. I hated that shit. I swear, especially when they used to say that shit about like the pro patches and shit. I'm like, dog, they can only use what the fuck they got. Like how the hell are y'all gonna hold them to a standard when y'all don't even really know what's in these boxes? We know numbers, but we have no idea what goes into the technology. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, which call it? Somebody, Robert McLeod in the chat. Shout out to you, Robert. Says it's a pony show. It's like, no, this Digital Foundry said these things. Not me. I didn't say things like, not a game change. I didn't say that. I said a little bit more. And that just backs up what I'm saying. Now, I'm not here to say that Shadow of War, and I'll even throw in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, let's just throw that in. Those games are outside the aggregate, though. Most of the games are a little bit more. So that's all I'm saying. Now, let me ask you, why do you think? Because let me give you my opinion on dynamic and checkerboard rendering.
Okay,
I've got they're okay now. I put that in quotes. Okay, I do believe that when the Pro came out, because it was going to be using dynamic and checkerboard rendering for the most part. Yes, it does do some native games as well. Before you all try to revoke, say I'm not going full pony here. Okay, I understand it does some things differently. Or does native. I believe they were so upset that the games looked distinctively better than the Xbox One S, which again was the new Microsoft console. They had to use it as a slam card. And this is for the people in the chat that are getting into these back and forth BS things on different people's chats and comments. Was using it as a slam card because they did not have access to it on their preferred platform. Okay, on their preferred platform. So it's fake 4K, it's not real. Now, all of a sudden, their preferred platform has a device out that's doing the exact same thing. Now, all of a sudden, it's okay. Now, all of a sudden, because they have access to a lot of the same things that you've had access to for close to a year, over a year. Now, all of a sudden, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. It looks good. We don't care anymore. That's where you guys are getting trapped, because there's actual people with screenshots and video of you idiots in the 5% saying that it's fake 4K. So now you don't get to run back and say, well, I take that back. If you try to run back and say now it's okay, you're going to get exposed.
Craig.
Okay, those videos will pop up.
What if I told you there's more native 4K games on the Pro than there are on the X? Would you believe me?
I mean, if we can prove it, that's fine. I mean, but again, the Pro has been out longer, so I would expect
No. I realize that, but the problem is the people who saying that it doesn't do native 4K.
Oh, yeah. Well, those people are idiots. Yeah, I mean, it does, obviously. I mean, you can name a bunch of games that got native 4K, so.
No, man.
Okay, Robert, I got you, bro. If I misinterpreted what you said, Robert, I apologize. He said that somebody else called the Video Game Awards show.
Yeah, he did.
I guess it's coming up.
Did you not see that? Yeah.
No.
Was so weird.
No.
He focused on.
I don't listen to him.
He focused on. Oh, I didn't watch it either. I just saw the screenshot. Somebody posted a screenshot, and the title of the video was something like once again the Game Awards is a pony show or something like that, something to that degree. But it's like if he really paid attention, he would see that Nintendo has pretty much just as many games up there as fucking Sony.
And so does
but
the
he
PC.
called it a pony show.
Well, what were they supposed to nominate on the Xbox? I mean, literally. I mean, I thought maybe Cuphead, but I don't think Cuphead's as good a game as Hellblade. That's my
Cuphead
opinion.
is up there though. Cuphead is nominated for a few games, for a few awards. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, yeah, well, because that's all they have. Remember, guys, you got to remember that Xbox canceled all the games or pushed them back. Crackdown was supposed to be out this year. Fable was supposed to be here this year. Scalebound was supposed to be here this year. Again, what were they supposed to nominate?
But that's Sony's fault too, though, Greg. That's Sony's fault that they canceled those games.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't understand the logic, but
nominated though on the Xbox, and I'm saying that to be funny. Not to be funny at all. So,
I mean, you know what? It's so sad, man, because like when they do bring out games and stuff like that, these idiots don't go out and support it. I've literally bought every Microsoft exclusive that they've released. I bought Rise, I bought Sunset Overdrive, I bought Halo 5 Guardians, Forza Horizon 3, Gears of War 4, Quantum Break. Listen, I have every exclusive for this system, and these idiots don't even go out and support the damn thing. And you know what? It's so bad that people think I hate Microsoft or hate Xbox. I don't, but I hate their fucking fans. I hate not the fans, the zealots. I fucking hate the zealots.
5%. The 5%. Because you're in the 95%.
Which is why I go out of my way, Craig, to piss them off. I go out of my way to piss them off. And literally when I do it, I'm not even trolling. I'm only spitting facts. Only spitting facts.
That's what you have to do. Their skin burns like vampire skin on sunlight. I mean, it's I've really never understood. Well, let me get into the dynamic. All right, so what do you think about the dynamic? And
I think it was a stupid argument from the beginning.
Okay.
Dynamic resolution has been going on for quite some time. It's not something that just started this generation. The only reason why it's even an issue or even being brought up at this time is simply because these motherfuckers in a console war. That's the only reason why people even care about it. People care more about the number than the actual game.
Yeah, and somebody, all right, yeah, you're right. And all right, somebody says something about JTech TV over there. Okay, look, I've said before, I don't care for JTech TV, and I don't care for the PlayStation Legion either. I've said that. As far as I'm concerned, they play with crayons.
JTech,
and I've said that before.
JTech TV is the scum of the PlayStation community. The fucking scum. Yeah, he is a weirdo.
Yeah, let me tell you all this. This is for the new people because I am not that kind of a PlayStation or Xbox fan. If you're out there on some bullshit, I'm calling it out. So one day he was doing a E3 live look. I mean, he was doing a live stream, I guess is what it's called. And I literally, and this was back in second. So I'm in the chat section and I asked a simple question. Since Xbox is going first, I said, hey guys, since Xbox is going first, what do you think they'll show? That was it. That's all I said. For asking about that, well, if you're not going to support this channel, then you just don't need to be here. I mean, like I said, you know, the dude plays with crayons. So I mean, and I would say that to his face, but he don't, you know, and there's been people that try to contact him just to play games. They won't do it. Legion won't do it. So like I said, they're just a bunch. I mean, look, I said I'm giving him too much shine. I'm not going to go in on another black man, especially a young black man. But like I said, that kid is he can just play with his crayons. I mean, hopefully he gets the 12-pack. And he eats the yellow crayon. So I mean, it's just, you know, that's what I think about him. That's for everybody to know.
Let me tell you what he did to be Craig, bro. Like it was so weird. I'll never understand it. I went to his channel and one day he was talking about something, but he had I believe he had a Samsung phone, I believe it was. And I was like, damn, J-Tech, it's good to see that you really ain't a PlayStation fanatic like they say you are. And he was like, so why do you think I'm a PlayStation fanatic? My TV is a Samsung. My TV is a Samsung. And he said some other shit too. And I was like, dog, I'm just giving you props. I'm saying, okay, it's good to see that you like something other than fucking PlayStation. This nigga eats his cereal with the freaking Vita next to him. Like, that's weird to me, bro. That's weird to me, dog. And what he did is he responded to me, and it was so weird. He was like, "Oh, you're a," I think he said that I was a spy or some shit like that. And I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And then I ended up getting blocked.
Yeah.
I ended up getting blocked. All of my comments like disappeared, and I'm like, "What the freak?" And then I went to Twitter one day, and I just happened to I guess no, I was talking to somebody, and it looked like they were talking to themselves, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I was kind of new to Twitter at that time, and somebody told me, they was like, oh, if it looks like somebody is talking to somebody and you can't see what they're saying, it's because they have you blocked. So what I did is I went to my other Twitter account. It literally has my exact same picture, but it's something totally different. But I went to my other Twitter account, and I was like, I go back to that post because I'm actually friended on. I got my I'm subscribed to myself from that other channel, and I saw that it was him, and I'm like, yo, that is crazy. What the hell?
God,
that mean he had to take time out of his day to literally search for my name on Twitter to find me there to actually go and block me. It was actually pretty it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. But he's a weird dude though, man. He's a real
like I said, that's just an odd group of people. So, and I do not want. I'm glad not to be. I mean, you want to try to connect with everybody, but to connect and I take a swig. But yeah, so I'm off the next 3 days, people, so I can swig it up. But so if anybody wants to have a swig with me, we'll come down here. We'll go get some of that Kentucky bourbon that you all always hear about. So,
but as far as your question with dynamic resolution and checkerboard resolution, the only reason why the Xbox people hated it is because it made their system look bad. You know what I mean? Like
the games.
I saw some of the weirdest stuff, man. Like I went to Best Buy just to kind of take a look at the Pro before it actually came out, and I saw it already had reviews. I'm like, how does it have reviews and it doesn't come out for like another 4 months? And lo and behold, you go to the reviews and they're like, oh no, this is the same thing as the S. Oh, it doesn't have an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. I'm like, bruh.
That's
Are
true.
Xbox fans really going to this link to slander this thing before it even come out? Dude, I saw some of the most astronomical shit, dog. It just blew my mind that someone would even waste their time doing that. Then when the thing finally does come out, then you have an idiot set it on fire. Like, how do you set it on fire from the outside and think people won't know? Literally, the way it's melted, you can see that somebody set it on fire from the outside. I'm like, bro, wow. What a waste of money, dog.
And there's no heat dispersed from that side.
No,
I mean, not at all.
I think it was a CD-ROM drive was on that side. Or something. No, a fan. Matter of fact, it was a fan that was on that side, which was even more mind-blowing, dog. And I was just like, man, this is a shame, dog. It's a shame. That's when I really knew like the Xbox community had a true fucking problem. They have a true problem. Instead of holding Microsoft accountable for the shady work that they put out, they would much rather slander the competition.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's really, really sad.
Yeah. Now, all right, let's go to game of the year real quick. I have not looked at that stuff yet because I mean, I've been working for the last 2 days. What is your game of the year? Either all the consoles, either console. What's the best game what's the game that you've played and it's kind of give you that jaw-dropping moment that, oh man, I wish somebody was here to see this, What do you think?
Is it based on the Game Awards selection or just my own personal?
Just your own personal game of the year. I'm sure that there'll be podcasts coming up talking about the other stuff, but this is just what is the best game you've had the pleasure of playing, sit down and play this year.
I know I'm gonna be a little odd in saying this, but I've enjoyed The Evil Within 2.
Okay.
I really like that game. I know a lot of people say they don't like it for various reasons, but just me personally, I enjoyed it, especially coming from Evil Within 1. I really enjoyed that game. So coming from Evil Within and going to Evil Within 2 and kind of getting closure to the story, I was like, yo, this is definitely a great game. I enjoyed that game so much that I probably beat it maybe 3 or 4 times. Like 3 or 4 times, definitely.
So does it have like multiple endings, or is it always the same outcome?
No. It's the same outcome no matter what you do. It's the same outcome.
All right, now what's been your most, I won't say the worst, what's been your most disappointing game that you played? Any system?
This year or any just in general?
Just this year. Yeah, 17. I mean, again, you're just disappointed in it. I mean, it may have had its moments, but overall, you're just kind of like, I'm kind of disappointed.
I've played so many games this year. I would have to say, damn, that's a good one. That is a good one. You know what? Let me come back to you on that one while I think about it. That is
because I'll do my two. These are just the games that I've played. The best game I've played this year so far actually has been Hellblade that I've played. Let me make that clear. I've not played them all. I see people with Persona 5. And I've heard nothing but great things about Persona. It was, for me, it came down for the most between that and Horizon Zero Dawn, which again, I've not done the Frozen Wilds yet. So for all I know, that could be terrible. So that's why I put that on hold. The game I'm most disappointed in, Andromeda, by far. I'm sure everybody knew I was going to say that. So just extremely disappointed with that story on that game. I understand that EA butchered it. Okay, fine, I get it. But we got my face is tired, and that's like, you know, that's the game that was the most surprising, and this is an older game. Let me give a shout out to One Stop for Gamers for this. A game that I think everybody should play before they die is Life is Strange, because that for me has been an extremely pleasant surprise. I didn't think I would really get into a story about 2 pasty white girls, you know, in high school. But I've got really hooked into that. So I got to take an L on that, because 2015, when that game came out, you had games like Witcher 3 come out. You had games like Metal Gear 5 come out. And it's up there with those games. It's that good. So hopefully everybody go ahead and check that out. But you got
I played that game too. Now that I think of it. Life is Strange. Yeah, I think I got all the achievements in it too. Now that I think about it, that game was definitely really, really good. Here's the problem, and what made me kind of stay away from it, from the sequel, just yet, is the fact that when I bought the first one, I literally bought it in sections, meaning I paid for the full thing, but then like every other month they were releasing a new episode and stuff like that. So that was like, yo, dude, I hated waiting to figure out what was going to happen next. So I vowed that when the next game came out, and it did, I believe the sequel is out, or the prequel, whatever it is. I think it's Before the Storm or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I'm actually waiting. I'm waiting until they release the full thing with all of the episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Now, let me say something about the chat. Halo Storm is gone. I saw what he said. I am not playing that bullshit here. I've said before, you all got free reign in that chat. You curse somebody's religion, you curse their race, you curse their mother, you're gone. He's gone. Okay, I saw what he said.
Oh, wow, what did he? I know. I don't even think I really want to know what he said.
Call somebody a FAG. Gone.
Oh, okay.
Gone. I ain't playing that bullshit. So, I mean, the way YouTube and Google's acting now, it's already crazy out here. Gone. You know.
That dude is shot out, man. He get really bent out of shape over this console stuff. Like me, I have fun with it, but I think some people really take this like truly serious. Oh, you know what? I figured out what the worst game was that I played this year. Sunset Overdrive.
Really? Now,
That game is complete, utter crap. That part 2, Microsoft need that, fam. That shit don't need to go. That shit don't need to go to Sony, bro. Microsoft and PC could have that. That joint is boring, very, very, very boring. You do the same crap over and over. Like, it gets so repetitive, dude. I don't like it. I don't like it. That I started that game. I could not play it for more than maybe 30, 40 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, and that's kind of, do you think, because that the same people are making Spider-Man, right? So do you think that doesn't bode well for Spider-Man? Because it looks like a lot of the same types of transversals as far as where they kind of got their stuff. So.
No, man, you know what? I don't know what I don't think that's going to be a problem for Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is a known character already, whereas
hold on real quick.
Sure.
Hold on real fast. Halo Storm. All right, this is for the mods. If anybody else is using that word in there, get them out of there. Okay, and that's for everybody. So he's on his final chance. If he's saying there's other people in there saying it, y'all aren't booting them, that's on you all. So that's his final chance. You ain't dropping that word here. So I ain't having that. So that's baloney. And that is beneath you, Halo Storm. Maybe it's not. Maybe I've given you too much credit. So, but that's on me. I take the L on that. So, but again, guys, if you see anybody else using that kind of word, you get them out of here. That's for the mods. All right, go ahead, Sick. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Oh shit, what was I even talking about, bro?
Oh, you were talking about
zoned out.
Oh, no, you're fine. You were talking about shit. What were we talking about? Oh, you were talking about you were talking about Sunset and how I thought did it boo did it go ahead?
Oh yeah. No. Sunset Overdrive was a very subpar game. I think that's the reason why Microsoft really ain't jumping at the bid to make a part 2. That game. Maybe I need to give it a little bit more time, man. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go back to it. Maybe after a couple of days or so. But man, that game gets so boring so quick, man. But it has so much potential. That's the problem. Like, I love the power-up system that they have and the way that you upgrade the character, but it just gets so boring, dog. Like, that's the biggest issue I have, is the fact. And I've played stuff like Goat Simulator. So for me to play Goat Simulator and then go and turn around and say Sunset Overdrive is like a fucking horrible game, like, it's I don't think it's horrible. I think it's just boring. That's all to it, man. It's just it gets too repetitive. And to me, that makes the game freaking boring, because I feel like you're doing the same crap over and over and over. The only thing that was pretty kind of dope is the time trials that you get to do, where you got to make it from one point to the next in a certain amount of time, and you got to do like tricks while you're in the middle of doing a time trial. That I actually enjoyed, because that at least took a little bit of skill and it was diverse from time trial to time trial. Ultimately, it's the same stuff, but it felt different when you were doing the different trials.
Yeah, wow. And see, that was a game that I was thinking about picking up, because I'm like, well, I mean, first things first, I didn't know about Forza 3. I mean, that blew me away right there.
You can get Sunset Overdrive for free with Game Pass, just to let you know.
Yeah, I looked at the Game Pass online and I saw where Halo 5, and I'm shocked if you all got an Xbox One X, you haven't played Halo 5, if you put in that code for a Gamer Pass, or if you get Gamer Pass, Halo 5 is there. And you don't
even have to do that. Even if you don't have a code, they give you a 14-day free trial.
Oh, okay. We'll see, even better. So, but if you download, let me ask you this. So say they give you the trial and the game is free. You download the game. After the trial's over, does the game go away?
You know what? I've been trying to figure that out myself. I really want to know the answer to that question, because it's not a trial, it's the actual game. But what I want to
Right.
know, because I downloaded their entire library, that's where my library of Xbox games came from. It came
Right.
from Game Pass and EA Access.
Yeah.
But literally, dude, I was wondering to myself, I'm like, okay, so when they remove this from Game Pass, do they remove it from the system or revert it back to a trial, or how that works? Like, I really don't know how that works.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? Like, do they just take it off your system and be like, okay, we're no longer offering this? Or does it revert back to a trial and then they say you can buy it? Like, I don't know how that works with that, with the Game Pass.
Yeah, because I don't know if it was like a DMR thing, and they'll say, okay, your trial is over, so now this game is gone, and most people, I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm not knocking the console. It's a good service to have as a service-based console. I did look at some of the games. It had the original XCOM on there, which not the original one. It came out on the PlayStation 2, or maybe it was the PlayStation, but the one that came out a couple years ago. I think maybe in 13 or 14, something like that. So that's a fun game. I've beaten that before. That may be something that you can look into. If you folks haven't played it yet, it's a real-time strategy. It uses a lot of the same shadow art you'll see on Crackdown. So for everybody who likes that.
When I got Game Pass, I'm gonna just give you an idea of a few of the games that I downloaded. I downloaded Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Bionic Commando Rearmed 2, Comic Zone. Man, I love my retro games. So I got Comic Zone, I got Comic Jumper, man, I got Streets of Rage, I got Mark of the Wolves, Fable 2, Fable 3, Final Fight. Man, I got so many games, man. It's like there's no way I would ever get around to playing all these games. I highly doubt it. But I downloaded them and added them to the system just as a just in caser. And we'll see what comes from it.
Yeah, because I know with PlayStation now, when they do their games for free, once you get them, you get them. They don't go, so because it's because I Until Dawn, I'd already beaten it. I forgot how many kids you start out with, but I think I can't remember. Only one or two of them died, so I got them through the night. I remember people were complaining about that game and how short it was. I'm like, you're only supposed to survive until dawn. Not 40 hours. It's a 6 to 8 hour game because I think the game starts at 10 p.m. and the sun comes up at 5:40. It was something like that, and it was like your goal was to keep them alive until dawn. So, which that game was crazy. I mean, I did enjoy that game.
It was a really good game. It was underrated. Yeah, definitely. I always wanted Telltale to sort of use the engine that whoever that is that made Until Dawn, Telltale should be using that engine for their games. Their games would be so much better.
Yeah, I think it was Supermassive Games, but I'm not for sure. Well, man, I tell you what, bro, man, we covered a whole lot of things. Yeah, Savage Juice says it's meant to be played multiple times. Yeah, you're right. I can't deny that. I played it one time though. I'm like, all right, well, I didn't like the shooting mechanic. I could not invert because I played my shooting inverted.
Really?
Yeah, I invert it. I invert the shooting because, I work in an OR, and when they tell you to look down with the camera, you put your head down. Like in real life, whereas if it's inverted, it does something. Right. So, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I do that inverted. So, yeah, Call of Duty. I got a good ending too. If you want to count two dead people, because everybody else was alive. But I've heard, but people, if you haven't played that game, check that game out. It'll probably be in the time being. Yeah, somebody
they already gave it away for free on PlayStation Plus, man.
Yeah. So Savage Huger says Supermassive made Until Dawn on that Decima engine. Yeah, you can. It was good. I mean, it was a good game, underrated. And I remember it came out and people were mocking it. And that was back when Sony has exclusives, but they're not AAA, therefore they don't count. That was the end of the Xbox community. The people that bought into that, You're like, oh well, yeah, they have exclusives, but they don't cost that much to make. So yeah, they got all those games, and you know, that's just it. You know, then Bloodborne came out, and they were all like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good game. This is a good game. So, but yeah, anyway, like I said, idiots. So we got Call of Duty World War II out if you all want to buy it, and it does a little bit more. Okay, it's been confirmed by Digital Foundry. So I don't know how many of this makes Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, and also what you said earlier in the podcast, and then what you said last week on a 60 frames no lag. That's been borne out because 60 frames no lag was on the 8th. That article that we were reading from was on the 12th.
Right.
And they confirmed Kratos said. So big shout out to you and Kratos. And that's it. Now, does anybody have any questions before we roll on up out of here? Besides you all going back and forth in the chat over nothing. I mean, there's a new console out and you're bitching. I don't know. There's a new console out and you're complaining. I don't know what else. That shows you how pathetic the people are. Okay, so
that's one thing I don't understand either, man. They should be super happy, man. Like I said, the console itself is not a bad console, man. Like, just don't get your hopes up too high, man. You know, that's just all it is. I mean, I have no reason to lie to you because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have everything regardless. While people are making life decisions on some of this stuff, it's not the same for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say anything bad about somebody who can't afford it, but I'm trying to help you to avoid some bullshit if I can. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if I could go back, I would definitely not get it at this point. That doesn't mean I wouldn't get it down the line, though. You know what I mean? Because you never know. Maybe things are just early, like really, really early, and you know people are still getting a grasp on the machine. And if that is the case, then we should see some greatness going forward. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna stick, but I'm gonna stick with it though. I'm gonna stick with it and see what happens.
Now, Robert McLeod wants to know who wins Game of the Year, and if shout out to Randall Thor because I watched his video, and if those games are correct, I'll do it like the Oscars. Who will win? Who should win? I think Zelda Breath of the Wild will win.
Something by Nintendo, definitely.
Yeah, I do think Persona 5 should win based on the game.
I really think
it was accurate. The game list he had was accurate, but again, it's all subjective opinion. They're all those games he had. I think he had PUBG, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Mario, and Breath of the Wild. All those games are great games. So
I don't think they're gonna give PUBG the Game of the Year over a Nintendo game, and it's just something about Nintendo games. I don't know what it is, but people have like I don't know, man. There's a real bias out there for Nintendo, man. That's all I can say about that. But I mean, I would love for Horizon Zero Dawn to win because it's a new game, a new IP where they took risks and they actually made a very good game. But I honestly, whatever wins. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they're all good games. I mean, I'm not into PUBG and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people who are, so I'm not gonna knock what they're into. I tried Fortnite too, man. That joint was trash. That joint was trash, man.
I tried it though. PUBG, and I agree 100%. Again, shout out to Randall Thor again, because he said like PUBG, that's a mode of another game. It's like a piggybacking game. It's like, how can that game be nominated? But I think it'll win multiplayer, whatever that you want to call it. If they have that, it should win that. But from what I have seen, I did not play Persona 5 yet. I haven't been able to get to Nier Automata yet, and I've heard nothing but great things about Nier and Persona. But to me, based on people that I know that I trust online, they have said Persona 5 is the best game they played. Period. This gen.
I hear good things about it all the time. I've yet to buy it myself, though.
Yeah, and I've got it, and I'm telling you guys again, when you all go out on Black Friday, which is next Friday, if you go through these bins, I mean, you may find something for $14 or $24. I mean, you just don't know. Try that, you know, and a friend of mine's getting that. He got an Xbox X, and he's getting all his games next week. So, or next week after next. He's like, I got it plugged up, but I'm getting Call of Duty and I forgot what he said, something else on it next week. Call of Duty and oh my, I keep on wanting to say Uncharted, but Wolfenstein, that's what it was on it. Yeah, next week. So, because he's a big Wolfenstein fan too. But we grew up in the 80s when Wolfenstein was on the Commodore 64. And he would come over to my house and play it. And then my mom would run us out of the house and we go down to his house and play it.
Hey, Craig, do you ever look back at Wolfenstein, at the first Wolfenstein, and be like, how did we sit down and play that junk? Like,
yeah, it's straight garbage. But man, it was so cool. The game was all in German. The only thing that was in English was your instructions. Use the space bar for this. I remember it was the space bar. Then you use the numeric keyboard to move around, and to interact with stuff, you hit 5, and to duck, it was the R button. Right. Because that was like you proper finger placement on your keypad. That's how a lot of people learn how to type playing video games on PC. So even though they were typing wrong, but yeah, I still remember the keyboard layout. But what I remember is they said Hitler was in the game, and if you could get into that place, you could kill everybody in there. We found the place where he was, but we missed the part where the key was, and we were. This is back when PC. You couldn't remember where you saved at. It was crazy. So the F4 was the save button. F8 was the boss high key. So if you were playing at work and your boss walked by, you hit F8, they gave you a fake. I don't know if you remember that one, that the fake graph. That she looked like you were working.
Listen, back in middle school, bro, I never forget this joint, dog. Back in middle school, we used to have LAN parties playing Doom, dog. Like I don't know what happened to schools now, but school used to be lit for us, man. It used to be lit. We used to also play Pitfall. I don't know if you remember Pitfall Adventures.
Oh, yeah. That game is what inspired Uncharted. Pitfall.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it definitely kind of does feel that way, because all you're really doing is climbing shit, and at some points throwing like rocks and shit. Like, you might be right. You might be on to something. You might be on.
Swing, especially when you swing. When he swings, it feels like Pitfall. Like, I remember that. So that's the only thing that was missing. So but they've that was Atari 2600. Yeah. And then the other game we would play online, LAN, was Descent. There's a video game called Descent.
Yes. You're talking about the Met game, right?
Similar to that. Yeah, well, this was a ship. You had a ship and you would fight online in these rooms, and somebody would blow the reactor up and everybody had to escape in like 30 seconds or something like that. So, it was but no, that was back in the day. Rainbow Six, again, landline game. We would get Ghost Recon, landline game. That's why when people are online now, they think playing online is a big deal. I'm like, nah. That early playing at 1440, connecting out at 14.4, then 28.8
kilobytes. Yeah.
You think if you try to play that now, you die. You would literally be like, "Oh, this is terrible." But that was like, and then I remember it went to 28.8, then 32.2,
and then 56.
And it stayed at 32 for 56. Yeah. Once we got the 56, you thought it's over. It can't get no better. That's what people said. And then we got the 1. This the number 1. And I remember that day, and I was just like, well, because I bought my PC for $1,400, and I was excited. And a week after I got it, the 32s came out, and I was furious, and so the guy at Best Buy said, well, you can bring it back. And I'm like, I am not going to load all that shit up again and reset it again. So
what was it? Was it a Sony Vaio? Because that was my first my first actual computer. Like, I used to always have places I could go to get on a computer, but my first computer was a freaking Sony Vaio that used to play this country song every time you turned it on the computer. And
that was an E-machine. It was just a basic E-machine.
I remember when the E-machines came out, when they was talking about how it was gonna be the best computer ever, and then you come to find out that it was like an economy machine. Like,
that's why I got one in school, and it was like, oh, I can play that. And I remember playing Rainbow Six which you can't find anymore. I mean, they had Rainbow Six Vegas come out and Vegas 2. And again, Rainbow Six, one of the best games I ever played on the 360. It was just a great
I was just gonna say that was the star of the 360, man. Everybody I know used to play that game. But then like the Halos and the Gears and it was like that took over everything, dude. Like I know people to this day. We used to literally after school, I used to go to their house and we used to play Halo, dog. And like I don't know, bro. Like it used to be mad fun back then, but now Halo is just like, it's just mad to me now.
Well,
that's why I was happy.
Yeah, to me, Halo was just like I didn't buy Halo till like 2 years after the Xbox. Because the first game I bought was Knights of the Old Republic. So for me, it was Knights of the Old Republic. Then I bought Splinter Cell. Then I went back and played Halo. So
I want to play that because a lot of people are saying that Knights of the Old Republic was really good, and I've never played that game.
Yeah, it's one of BioWare's crowning achievement games. They still use that system. You had light side, dark side. You had that all the way into Mass Effect. That's why you had Paragon Renegade. It was the same type of system, except it based it on Star Wars lore. So if you did something extremely aggressive, you got dark side points. And if you did something extremely good, you got light side points. I mean, so it's, so there were things once you got to certain points of the game that if you were dark side, you could use. I mean, they were much more powerful than what the Jedi had. But that was the thing of the Jedi. They said being good is the harder version of the game. Going straight Sith makes the game easier because I had the lightning and I could throw my lightsaber, but my character turned this pasty chalk looking color like the Emperor. He looked like that. I mean, it's disgusting looking. So it was like you are full dark side, and then because you're bad, your crew starts acting bad. And so it was I don't want to give it away. It was fun to play. You go to like 5 or 6 different planets, you build your own lightsaber. If you watch the movie Shitfire Rogue One, when they were stealing the plans, and one of the plans said black saber, you could actually find a black fencing stone and have a black lightsaber.
Really?
So it was very difficult to find. And Kylo Ren's lightsaber, I think it starts with a Phi-Axis or something. That's the name of that stone. Even in the movie, they canonized that stone being so hot. That's why it vents on the side. That's why his lightsaber looks like that. It's actually venting heat on the sides of it. And in the game, you can't build that type of lightsaber. So you could only hold that lightsaber for like 10 seconds, and then it would start hurting your character. But this is back when BioWare was BioWare. Now it's just, like Justice League.
Now, you know what though? I hope EA gets it together, man, because like they have a lot of IPs that I truly don't want to see go anywhere. I hate the fact that Mass Effect, took the route that it took. You know what I mean? I'm actually a big Mass Effect fan. Matter of fact, you can check my achievements on the Xbox because that's where I originally played it at. And I literally played all 3 of them, beat it. I was even gonna go for the 1,000 achievement points, which may be more than that now. But I ended up getting I ended up pretty much going like strictly PlayStation. And then I got Mass Effect on there too. So it was like
when it came out on PS3. When Mass Effect 2 came out, it was running on the Mass Effect 3 engine. So it ran a lot smoother. A lot of people don't realize that. And also the DLC for Mass Effect 2 was all free. Right. You didn't have to pay for it. So those characters, that's one reason I really liked it, because at the end of Mass Effect, like I told people, Mass Effect 2, I had 12 characters. And my friend of mine, Bill, was like, well, I only had the 10. I'm like, well, you're supposed to put together your own dirty dozen.
Right.
And go for that. But that's what people are so upset about Mass Effect. When the people who are like, well, I like the combat. The combat for Mass Effect, even as clunky as Mass Effect 1 was with combat, once you learned how to operate that system, the D-pad, it was actually pretty neat. But ultimately, they screwed that up. I mean, they had a good idea, but then EA got in there and it messed it up. And Yeah, don't get me started because EA pissed me off. I mean, I'm like, I am never buying another EA game again. But
you know what? What do you think about the Respawn procurement that EA did?
I think what they're going to do is they're going to do what they did to BioWare. Remember, they bought BioWare, and BioWare was in the midst of making Mass Effect 2. They gave BioWare more assets. They let them use that watered-down Unreal Engine. That's kind of what you're doing on Mass Effect 2 and 3. That's why you can do plot turns and stuff like that. I think they'll do that with Titanfall 3. But I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's going to have a campaign on it. I think it's going to go back to being like Titanfall 1. Saying, well, Titanfall 1 was a better game. It was, that's what EA wants. Online only, charge you for every little thing. And so I think it's a good purchase, but ultimately, I think that's what EA is going to do. What do you think?
I think they're going to kill the shit out of Respawn. I think they're going to kill Respawn, and now they own the properties. They're going to give the properties to other development teams that they own to keep the game going. I really think that EA had bad intentions for Titanfall 2, and somebody pointed it out, and it made nothing but sense. Think about what happened, right? Coming up to the Respawn purchase. First of all, they let EA publish their game, right? EA published the game and put it out right between Battlefield and fucking Call of Duty. If that wasn't the dumbest thing to fucking do, because if I'm a consumer, right, Battlefield was the bigger name, Call of Duty was the bigger name, right?
Yep.
If I gotta make a choice, and most people gotta make a choice, if I gotta make a choice of what game I'm gonna get the game that I'm most familiar with, and it's not going to be a fucking Titanfall 2. So I kind of feel like they did put that game out there like that to devalue Respawn. So when they went to go purchase them, they get them at a super discount. I mean, $455 million for the creators of Titanfall, for the original creators of Call of Duty. Really? Yeah. $455 million, that's all they worth?
Well, not only that, but they're saying that each game costs $100 million to make, and it's like, why are you all allocating that type of budget for these games?
Dude, $100 million to make when Horizon took like $40 million to make? Really?
Yeah, and then they said, well, really lost money on Horizons. They say Guerrilla Games didn't make no money off of it. I'm like, man, dude, come on.
Absolute bullshit.
Yeah, they made money after the first night, Game sold 4 million units.
A game that did not do well would not have DLC. It would not have DLC, period.
Yeah.
That shit would just go away.
And we got more DLC on that game than we did with Mass Effect, which has a bigger lineage than Horizon Zero Dawn. And we got a book. That's how we're going to know what happens to the Quarian arc and all that kind of stuff. Some woman's writing a book that's coming out like in March or April of next year. I mean, that's sad. So that whole Mass Effect community is gone. I mean, I take the people who were really talking about Mass Effect, they're not even doing podcasts anymore. They're done. You had like ME Odyssey, done. You had the Andromeda Nerds, done. I mean, these are people that had massive communities, up to 100,000 with Andromeda Nerds. I mean, just done. Jack Dog, done.
Was the game really that bad?
It is, because as a BioWare fan, you are playing a story. You're making decisions that are going to affect the story. The combat, it was on a Frostbite engine. The combat looked really good, but it's just they took, to me, they should have grew some balls and just said, look, we're going to do Mass Effect 4. We're going to base it on the destroy ending. We'll have Shepard be in the game, but he's going to be where the Admiral was or where Anderson was. Put him in that kind of role, and then whoever you romanced, okay, that's just what it'll be. You can load your Mass Effect 3 save, and it will carry over your romances. That's all it was going to carry over, because I tried to romance Ashley, but I saved that for Miranda, because my God, Miranda just had a Miranda, for crying out loud. But But they could have done something like that and then have James Vega be the next Avatar. That's why he had N7 tattooed on him. Mild spoiler alert, folks. That's why he got N7 tattooed on him, because he was going into the N7 program. And you still could have had the exploration. It could have been, okay, we're trying to build or rebuild after the Attack of the Reapers. We're going to have to go through some uncharted mass relays. And then you could have found all kind of stuff. You could have found new species. You could have been a first contact force. But they had so much available, and they just, what's that saying? You had one job and you blew it. They blew it. Yeah, somebody said Mario saying that Miranda was a dime and Ashley was too. Yeah, they both look good. I mean, and Liara looked pretty good too. So, but yeah, I always hooked up with Ashley on the first game. And I went Captain Kirk on it. There was a way to hook up with Ashley on the first game, with Miranda on the second game, and then with Liara in the third game, and keep Miranda alive, because I figured that out. So, he figured that out. So I figured that out, put it like that. So, and here's the thing. Let me ask you this, because this is important. Mass Effect 3. It won't let me load my DLC, like, at all. It just says something's wrong with my cloud. And I thought the cloud was all powerful. Do you have any idea what's going on?
No, because they're probably talking about what you had for the 360 regardless. And I know they shut down the 360 and the services for that. So maybe that went along with it. I mean, we'll never know, because they'll never say, yes, that's what it is. But that's probably what happened. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to download. Do you know anybody who was able to download their stuff?
I downloaded it before on the Xbox One S or Xbox One, and then when I got the S, you
couldn't get it then. Was that before or after they closed down the Xbox 360 stuff?
Oh, that I guess it's afterwards now, because I bought the X in 14 or X. I'm sorry, I bought the Xbox in 14. Right. I bought the S. When did we get the S? Matter of fact, I got the S on N7 Day. When Major Nelson put out on N7 Day on Twitter on BioWare's N7 thing, all Mass Effects are available for backwards compatibility with the DLC available. I was like, all right. I finished my cereal. I went up to GameStop. I bought the Xbox One S, and I bought Mass Effect. I'm like, I'm gonna get back into this shit again. So I keep talking about it. I want to play it again, but I know when I get to Mass Effect 3, that's it. I can't do. Yeah, because I can't do the Prothean DLC, which because I tell people when I leave Eden Prime, I always leave with how many people do I have? I leave with that Prothean, because I like that Prothean thing. He was mad as hell, So I had him. It was just fun. So it's disappointing. So hopefully if they get.
I have Mass Effect Andromeda. I have it sitting here. I actually got it for free on EA Access, but I own it for PlayStation 4 as well. Haven't played it on either one of them. So I'm going to check it out and see, what it's hitting for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the Pro it's 1800p. If you're playing it in 4K, it's 1800p upscale to 4K. So it's a good looking game. I had no problem with what the game looked like. It was just and I liked the first mission. I thought that was good. I'm like, all right, if it's going to be like this, put it like this. If it had been like it on that first planet, if it was like that all the time, I would have probably really ended up enjoying it. But overall, yeah, I was just kind of like, man, you know what? Gears had Judgment. We got Mass Effect Andromeda. So that's just kind of the way we got one bad one out. So.
I'm not gonna lie, Judgment was trash for real. Like, I've heard people say it, but after playing it, I was like, yo, this
that was a money grab. Yeah, it was a money grab, and they got my money. And there were things about it I did like, but yeah, you hear the Gears of War community, they all like, oh, that was trash. Judgment was terrible. So,
you know what though, Gears of War never really had a good, solid story though. Like, that's the one major flaw of Gears of War. But then again, from what people tell me, they like playing the multiplayer and they don't really care for the story. So if that's the narrative they're gonna go with, then cool.
Yeah. And I've liked all the Gears. I didn't Gears Judgment was the weakest out of that, but Gears 4, I actually Gears 4, I actually thought that was a good game.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Gears 4. So I thought it was better than Gears 3. It didn't think it was as good as Gears 2. I still think Gears 2 one of the best games you can play. And it's like with Halo. I've enjoyed all the Halo games, but even Halo 5, and people rip Halo 5. I'm like, what's wrong with Halo 5? We got Luke Cage. I mean, I do not like being Luke Cage, So, so
I got a question for you, because Kid Smooth made it a point to say that the Gears of War, the motorcycle scene when you're following the jet, he said it was better than Uncharted 4's racing scene, and I was like, man, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. But after playing it, I actually agreed with him. Like, that joint was fire, dog. That shit was really fire, dog.
You talking about the airplane scene?
Yeah, when you're on a motorcycle and you're trying to get to the bring down the airplane and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see why people would think that. They're both very good scenes. It's the Uncharted one, because of the way the angles were. I thought that was a little more cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was a movie, but that's, again, they were going for two different kind of things,
right?
And I can understand why people would think that. That part with the truck. Now you're talking about when he was on the motorcycle and then they were getting chased and they were ducking under stuff and that truck was shooting down. Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool too. There were several. Say, what about the part where you're jumping from the Jeep to Jeep? It was really good too. So
I mean, it was just like, really, I was just like, when I played the Gears of War 4 and I played that particular part, I was like, yo, this is crazy for real. Like, he said it was crazy, and it really turned out to be really, really good.
Yeah, again, Gears 4, I've said to people, I don't know why the people in the Xbox community didn't go out and support that game in force, because I even put on Twitter, I'm like, look, Gears 4 is one of the best games I've played this year. And I know I'm late coming to it. I said, but it's one of the best I played this year. You all need to be playing this. I don't understand, So, I mean, maybe if Xbox had went with quality over quantity, because the games I've played on there, and I played Life is Strange and stuff like that. So, but that's multi-plat. But a Life is Strange was on PlayStation N for free. Right. At one point, like the whole game. I didn't even know it. I'm like, I don't want to play that. And then, I got it. I'm like, all right, it's everything that they said it was going to be so far. And people like
what I do, regardless of whether I think I'm gonna like a game that they're offering on PSN Plus or Games with Gold, I always add it to my library regardless. Because a lot of those be hidden gems, man, that just didn't sell very well. And you can find a lot of stuff on there, man. I've seen so many excellent games. Like, I played this game called, what was it called? It was called Teslagrad. And just hearing the name, you'll be like, yo, this is some BS. But when you play it, the game was actually really good. It was really good.
Yeah, they'll surprise you. Like some of those indies, one of the better indies I played on 360 was, I think it was Castle Crashers. And I thought that was just a fun game to play.
I love Castle Crashers. Yeah. If you're into strategy games, I definitely think you'll really like those games.
Yeah. Somebody said, anyone here haven't 1X brick on them yet? No, Kid Smooth actually did. And that's no distance. Shout out to Kid Smooth. He actually had that happen to him. So, and that's why when it happened to him, because you remember it was happening all around the world. In the Xbox community, I'm talking about the 5%ers were like, oh, they're just haters. They're just haters. Then it happened to the best bot. So, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not knocking it because the man went out and dropped his coin on it. And I'm glad Microsoft hooked him up with I think you could take it back to the store.
Mine died on me. My first.
Okay, so yours did. So what exactly to it then when it dies?
Well, what happened with this particular Xbox is it started doing some real shaky shit first. Like like I was opening up an application, it completely froze on me. I decided to turn it off. It didn't want to go off. Then when I finally did get it to come back on, it went completely blank, and then it just wouldn't come on anymore. It was like done. So I saw all the stupid stuff that people said to do. They were like, "Hey, yeah, change the power cable." I'm like, "What? When have you
How?
ever known a power cable to just die?" That didn't even make sense to me. But I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do it anyway. Unplugging it for I believe like 10 seconds or something like that to
Uh-huh.
let the internals reset, because the built-in power supply on the inside, I guess it has like a circuit breaker or something that flips
Yeah.
whenever something happens. So you have to wait 10 seconds for it to, for it to allow you to cut it back on again. None of that worked. Then I said, okay, uh, let's go to GameStop. GameStop said they didn't have any more Project Scorpio versions, which I was like, well, that didn't make any sense. Called Microsoft. Microsoft said they couldn't guarantee a Scorpio version,
Yeah.
but feel free to send it in. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, whatever. So just go to GameStop, get a regular Xbox, and then instead of what happened is the guy who works at GameStop called me and he was like, yo, I know you had the Project Scorpio edition. We had somebody who canceled, they didn't come and pick up the pre-order or whatever. If
Yeah.
you want, you can bring that one back. We'll trade it for you. So I ended up
Oh,
getting my
okay.
Project Scorpio edition back. And
Mhm.
outside of that, everything's been working fine since then. But yeah, they you chalk it up to like technology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be too pissy about it. But at the end of the day, if it happens again, it's just like I'm gonna just have to end up sending it in. But I've already lost the little faith that I did have in this console. The only thing that could really bring me back, because you have to keep in mind, like right now at this particular moment, I'm not even playing like a triple. Well, I guess back in its time it was a triple A game, but I'm playing Streets of Rage 3 again because that's probably
Yeah.
one of my favorite Streets of Rage games, and I'm playing that on this $500 box. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying? Because I want to get the high quality pixels. You feel me? But the luster for the system wears off. Like I really do feel like a lot of people are in their honeymoon stage, and eventually that's gonna wear off, and then it's gonna be back to normal, back to business as usual. But what I need from Microsoft to tackle those games. I will buy every exclusive game. I bought Super Lucky's Tale. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. You
And
recommend
I
it for people. Yeah.
and I still advocate for Super Lucky still, because I feel like it didn't. I feel like it got. I feel like it got shafted, not based on its own merits, but based on another game. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucked up. But the game was decent, man. The game was decent. My kids love the game. They got
Uh-huh.
it downloaded on their Xbox. It's a real cool game. I mean, it's not anything amazing. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, it's Super Lucky Cell. No, no, but it's a cool game to just sit down, relax, and play. It's not too hard, not too easy. It's like one of them games that's just right. Um, but I bought Dead Rising 3. Like I said, I bought every launch exclusive. I bought every exclusive down the line. I just need them to bring games. The whole selling the system for multiplayer, that ish don't work on me, man. And for most people, it's not gonna work, because during that time when they really did want an Xbox and a great Xbox, they just went
Yeah.
and built the computer. They went and built the
Yeah.
PC. If you look
That's what I'm
around
trying.
even this community, if you look around this community, a lot of people left the Xbox, not the ecosystem, but they decided that they were just gonna go and build a computer. You know what I'm saying? Now it's hard to get them to buy an X because they already have a PC that does what the X does and more. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a missed opportunity on Microsoft's part. They should have did this a long time ago. I can understand why they didn't, because there was somebody else running the company at that time. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, man, for me to be happy, for me to shut the fuck up and stop
Ah,
saying anything, bro, they got to give me some goddamn games, dog. And I hear people saying, "Oh, they do got games." Yes, yes, they got Streets of Rage, my nigga. This is what they have. They have
yeah.
they have
Why?
360 games and Xbox original games. Yeah,
Yeah.
but is that worth the $500 purchase? Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I've said.
Not.
Yeah, I've said it sounds like if you want to wax some nostalgia, and people were like getting on to me, like, would you pay that? I'm like, look, I went back to the movies to see Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And that movie came out in 1977, and that was in a newer theater, you know, digital and all that kind of stuff. They went back and redid it. I've gone back through backwards compatibility and played Mass Effect. So of course I understand waxing nostalgia, but I don't know if you all have to decide as consumers if that's what's going to drive you. I mean, the Xbox One, because Xbox One S, because it played UHD movies and it had backwards compatibility for games that I like, it was easier to take that pill, you know, than to take it for the exact same thing. I mean, the X is going to let me do the exact same thing, play the exact same games, albeit be it not as nice. I get that, you know, but it still plays the same UH. I can put Wonder Woman in an Xbox One X and put it in the S. Okay, it just does. It plays fine, you know. So, so it's just it depends on what you want as a consumer. So it's yeah, like somebody saying paying 500 games to play, paying $500 to play old games and take a chance with your system to die on. Yeah, I mean that's what we're saying, Superfly. It's you all have to decide whether it's worth it to you. The problem is that the Xbox community, they think everybody should feel like them. Just like you can't tell a person that uses an Apple iPhone, even though you go up to them and say Android phones have control of the market because of their, you know, because of their OS, Android phones have a bigger variety. Android phones have more apps. Android phones are, you know, they have better cameras. You can say that, and it's all true. They're still going to stay with Apple, and that's the way the Xbox community is. It doesn't matter to them. So
and you know what?
And
that's fine. That's fine. But at the same time,
that's fine.
Yeah, you got to realize that people who actually like playing games, new experiences that can only be achieved on the system that they bought, you know, they're not going to feel the same way you feel. You're not pushing Microsoft to do better. You're not. Why do you think Phil Spencer got a freaking promotion, dude? He got a promotion because even the CEO was like, bruh, how in the world did you manage to convince these people that they needed more controllers and less games? Yeah, like, yes, we gonna give you a promotion. Yes, yes.
I will. Yeah, that's like saying you need. That's like somebody saying, well, you don't need food. You can just go ahead and drink a little bit of this Slim Fast, and you'll be all right. Like, yeah, right. That'll work for like 2 weeks, you know. So it's that's a very good point. And not only that, they regurgitated the points. Oh, they said that that single player games aren't you know, that came down out of Phil Spencer's mouth. All of a sudden it was well, yeah, you're right, boss. I mean, that's why I went to the whole yes boss, no boss, yes master, no master. Master said that we don't need single player games, therefore master is correct. And you know, master, we gonna be good boys over here in the Xbox community. Master gonna take care of us. To me, that's the way you sound. That's the way those guys sound to me. It's like, how do you buy it?
Said that though. They legit started repeating that rhetoric. Listen, there's a guy who works with me, like works at my job, and this man said the exact same thing. He was like, man, it's all about games as a service, man. He was like, single player games are dead. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? This man got a PlayStation for the first time in his life. Now Uncharted 4 is his game of the year. I'm like, fam, you know they came out like last year, right? And he was like,
Lost Legacy or regular Uncharted?
No, the regular Uncharted 4. He played the regular Uncharted 4. He played Last of Us, and he played Horizon Zero Dawn. He was like, man, we need games like this on the Xbox. I'm like, but when y'all sitting there parroting what y'all hear Uncle Phil say, y'all ain't never gonna get more. Y'all telling them y'all okay with nothing. And this is what I understand. They get mad at people who are actually trying to push to get more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why would you do that? You're basically that person going against their own interests. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who you talk to that's an actual gamer, they will tell you the same thing. There are just no games for you to play on the Xbox. There's no games that's pushing you to buy an Xbox. None. None whatsoever.
Yeah, and
if you put out the theory, if you put out the theory that you have the best multiplayer, you think that that's going to hold you over. That's not what's going to hold you over. I'm telling you, I know people who only play FIFA. They only play Call of Duty. They don't give a shit about the graphics.
Yeah,
they could be playing on a damn look. They could be playing on a ColecoVision.
Oh,
and they would be fine as long as they could shoot something. This is why I'm saying, like, the whole focus on graphics it's fine, man. If you want to have the better resolution, go right ahead. That's all good and well. But at the end of the day, what do you have to push your system? What do you have to sell your system? Microsoft already said they're not doing the third-party deals. You know what I'm saying? They're not pushing to get exclusives. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to kumbaya with Nintendo and Sony while they basically gang rape you? They're literally gang raping your customers, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I'm talking about, as far as what that guy was saying about this, those games don't count. Again, if the list was accurate about game of the year, all but one of those games is multi-plat or single player. Because it was Persona don't have no. I mean, again, I've told people, look, if your internet, you can't pay your internet bill, you can still play Horizon Zero Dawn. You don't need to be online. You can still play Persona. You don't have to be online. You know, PUBG, on the other hand, is going to be sitting there waiting on you to connect to your internet. And I've just said to people before, man, people's internets around the world. Yes, you're in a Western nation, so the internet grid is actually pretty good. You leave that you go somewhere else, you're gonna have, except South Korea, you're gonna have spotty internet. That's just the way it is. You know,
let's not even talk about internet. Let's just play. Let's just imagine that everybody has awesome internet, right? Let's just imagine everybody has awesome internet, right? PUBG, it wasn't enough for you to buy a computer, but it's enough for you to buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's enough for you to buy multiple Xboxes before you finally get the Xbox you're going to play PUBG on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gaming, they were saying EA, and I did hear this. EA is talking about not making Madden every year.
They should.
What if they made a Madden mode where the players could kneel before the anthem? I would be on the floor laughing if they could actually do that. It wouldn't shock me, Gaminator, if they did do that, because that's all EA's about now. That's why them and Microsoft are kind of holding hands right now, because that Microsoft wants to be service-based. EA wants to make service-based games. That makes Sony and Nintendo kind of be out. You know, they're on the outside looking into that. So,
but here's the problem:
access will get announced this next year for Sony. Go ahead.
Mark my words, Craig. Mark my words. I guarantee you, once Nintendo get a big enough install base, which they should by next year, I guarantee you all of that cross-play and all of this other shit gonna go right out the window. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Right now, they need Microsoft as much as Microsoft needs them, because they're trying to build up that fan base right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. They got a lot of diehard Nintendo fans, but let's be honest. There's only about, 6 million or 7 million Switches out there right now. Wait till they get to about 15 to 20 million and start smelling themselves.
Well, they're supposed to be what? They're supposed to be at what, 14 million by, is it March or May? So
that's what they predict. That's what they predict. But come on, they predicted that the Wii U was going to do fantastic as well.
You could tell that wasn't going to go well, though. And people had a legitimate question, like, okay, the Nintendo Switch coming out, Wii U didn't do well. That's a legitimate observation. You can't say somebody's hating on that. But now that it's been successful, what the Switch does is it blows away the whole single player thing and exclusives. That's all they got. I mean, not that they don't have anything online, but for the most part, they have nothing but exclusive titles. And this whole thing of exclusives don't matter. It's kind of a deaded issue. I did see some people in the chat say, well, if the multiplayer game wins, people on the Xbox side are going to celebrate. And it's like the fact that people are even like that, that's a you all problem at this point. It's not about everybody else. So,
they will celebrate off of accolades that they did not earn. Those accolades that PUBG got, That all came from PC users. Xbox is going to make up the minority of PUBG players, and they're going to drop that shit. They're going to drop that shit like a bad habit. If PUBG, if they're not playing Fortnite right now, they're definitely not going to be playing PUBG, because Fortnite is pretty much a clone of PUBG. Pretty much, that's all it is.
Isn't there a PUBG mode on Ghost Recon Wildlands now? There's supposed to be a PUBG mode on that. That's why
I heard that one was really good too. I got a friend, and this is the same friend I told you. He only played COD, FIFA. That's all he played all year round. That fool was telling me, he was like, "Man, I've been stuck on this Ghost Recon PvP." Man, he said that thing is so good, and I don't even know if I can believe that, because when I played Ghost Recon, it really wasn't all that. It was actually pretty boring. It was pretty darn boring. But maybe because I was playing by myself, I wasn't actually playing with a team of people. So maybe it's all about the social interaction with that game.
Yeah, somebody said it's called Ghost War. And again, I liked Ghost Recon. I liked tearing down that drug syndicate. I never understood why he could never find you, though. You're in his country, and you're just operating at will. But a fun game. I enjoyed that game. But I like most of the Tom Clancy's games. Just I wish it had been a little more tactical. It was too much. As soon as you stepped on a frog, all hell would rain down on you. So that would have been cool.
I like The Division. That joint was actually pretty good. The Division.
Yeah. Yeah, I did play that. Yeah, that was Tom Clancy again. Yeah, that was another service-based game. Yeah, and again, The Division was one of those games that is anybody still playing that now?
I know a few people still playing it. The problem with Division, man, is like I get off like at one point I was getting off at like 3 a.m, right? And the problem is they used to do their updates at that particular time in the morning. So I would get home and try to play a few games or whatever. And they'll be like, no, down for maintenance. And that used to kill me. Same thing with Rainbow Six Siege. I used to love Rainbow Six Siege, but their servers were terrible. Terrible servers.
And that game should be up for Game of the Year, because wasn't that kind of the hot game?
Yeah, but it came out like 2 years ago, though. Came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah. But it was like the big hot internet game. People were just playing the hell out of that, so, but
and it was really fun. It was really, really fun. Now I have a question for you, Craig, and this is kind of like an old question, but I just kind of want to get your take on it. The whole crossplay thing. Why is it that people are making a big fuss about crossplay right now at this moment?
Microsoft needs it to be relevant. Not now, not 3 years from now, but again, 7 to a decade from now, 7 to 10 years from now, they need it, because they're not going to be in the business of making IP. And why make it when you can just build a app to stick on your whatever your app is, and you just go backdoor those games. The reason why Sony's not doing it is, one, Microsoft won't stop at 1 to 2 games. They'll say, oh, you did it for these 2 games, you need to do it for this game. Because look, Microsoft gets inundated starting Christmas Day bitching at Microsoft because they don't have a baseball game. Okay, they don't. The baseball is, and you have to have a Sony system to play baseball. They want access to that game. They desperately want access to that game. So there's no reason for them to do it. And plus, Sony wanted to do it last year, and Microsoft said no. Microsoft, which is fine. Nobody had a problem with Microsoft saying no. So if that's the case, you need to say, okay, Microsoft said no to them. Sony's now saying no. But that's why it got the fanboys asking for it sick. I can understand that. When the executives online were talking about it, that was ridiculous. It's like, damn, make your own damn IP. People will go buy it. So it's just,
you make a very, very, very good point. And I think a lot of people slept on that particular point. The fact that Sony tried to do crossplay already. and were turned down.
Yeah, and Sony has crossplay with PC. I mean, from what I understand, I mean, I think Street Fighter V is crossplay on PC. No Man's Sky, I think that may be crossplay now on PC. So, I mean, because I know they're constantly updating that game. So it's not like they don't have games that are crossplay. They just seem to me that Microsoft, again, if it was just one game, Sony may say, okay, one game, maybe two games. But overall, what Microsoft wants to do is to add those accounts to them, because I've seen people say there's advertisements popping up on their Xboxes. And, we have access to these 22 million new customers that signed up. We're going to start charging, you're going to start seeing ads and stuff like that. It's stupid.
Like I said, now the whole exclusives are anti-consumer thing as well. Like, that's another one. Like, I don't know where they get this crap from, and I don't know why they keep repeating it, but it sounds absolutely ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous.
Not to interrupt you, if that's the case, how come I don't see Halo on the PlayStation? See, Microsoft wants everybody else to do it, and they don't want to do it. Maybe if Microsoft said, all right, you know what, Sony, we're going to put Halo over on your console. Can we get, I don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn, or can we get the Nathan Drake collection over here? That may be something they could sit down and discuss. But it's, you're right. Single player, you're right. Exclusives are that bullshit. Where was that at when Lost and Damned was 6 months on Grand Theft Auto 4? 6 months to almost a year before PlayStation got it. And I was an Xbox. I had an Xbox, so I don't want to hear, no. Lost and Damned, Ballad of Gay Tony, that was dedicated to Xbox for damn near 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
okay, Grand Theft Auto 4. And then you keep going. The Call of Duty stuff, they were holding those maps for 90 days, sometimes 6 months. Now, PlayStation got them for free, so they did not complain. The gamers on the PlayStation didn't complain. But all those Call of Duty maps would come out on the Xbox first, and now they're not. I mean, again, I don't play Call of Duty online, but those maps will be coming out in like 3 more weeks.
Yep.
For online, and you're going to have to wait anywhere from 35 to 60 days on the Xbox One. So whether you have the X or the regular Xbox, so it's just that was the funniest thing, was the games are they're anti-consumer. Again, it's you can't be chubbing yourself up last gen when you all had all those games and Sony was struggling, and now all of a sudden the shoe's on the other foot. Now it's like, wow, we're not being catered to. That's what they sound like to me.
I think Porter Rock said this, and it made the most sense out of everything that I've ever heard. He was like, so you're gonna walk into a Burger King and get mad that you can't get a Big Mac?
Yeah, he's right. There's a reason why you can't go to McDonald's and get a Whopper. He's right about that. You can't go to Wendy's and get a Big Mac.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a reason why you can't do that. It's because those are exclusives. Those are what set those companies apart from each other. Yeah, everybody's selling hamburgers. That's what Microsoft looks at. They're all just games. But no, these games make this console stand out. I mean, Mario being on, because he wants a Mario game on the Xbox. That's why they're being so nice.
They're not calling Microsoft anti-consumer for Cuphead.
Well, it's on PC.
It's not on the other platform, the other consoles though. Like Cuphead would have made the perfect Switch game. It's not a demanding game. It's a really fun game, especially playing it on the go. Like, that game would have made the perfect Switch game.
Yeah, and I've said before, uncompetitive, saying that, hey, it wouldn't be a fair trade because how bad Halo 5 was. I'm like, no, if Microsoft is serious, Microsoft can get on there, can get on the phone, fly to Sony in Japan, beg them for some of their games, and say, we're going to give you all the Halos for 1 year. And then you'll come back and we'll get, I don't know, the Uncharted series and include Lost Legacy. We'll and Sony can say, okay, we'll come back and do Lost Legacy if we can have access to all your Halos starting now. Make that shit for us, and because you're the ones who need it, okay? It's not us. And Uncharted, be like, yeah, if Uncharted goes over there, fine. If you're going to give us the Halo games, or you're going to get, something like that, it's
right.
Because Microsoft for a while. I mean, to me, Microsoft needs exclusives. They need Splinter Cell back for them only. That game set them apart from everything else. So
what they need to do, what they really need to do, and this will probably turn everything around. It'll probably turn everything around right now. They need to get rid of the Play Anywhere initiative. Throw that out the window.
Yeah.
Throw it out the window. Get rid of it. Listen, I'm not saying that PC gamers don't deserve to have some Xbox games, but at the same time, the people who are only going to play on Xbox deserve to have something to call theirs on the Xbox. Because right now, they ain't got nothing, man. Well, Sunset Overdrive, because that never went to Play Anywhere. But everything else pretty much went to Play Anywhere or either Steam.
Yeah, JD33 saying Microsoft been chomping at the bit. Yeah, and it's slowed down because there are new consoles out and they can talk about the multi-plats and all that kind of stuff. So, and again, if that's what you want to do, and I can't sit up here and say not to be happy because, again, I play a game, Mass Effect 07, Mass Effect 2, 09, Mass Effect 3, I think 12. So me saying to not do that is stupid. With that said, however, you don't hear people going around bragging about that stuff.
Right. Okay? You never hear that.
I mean, if I want it, you can go get a 360, and for like whatever $49.99 at this point at GameStop, they're just giving them away. And I'm talking about the ones with the hard, whatever it's called, 20-bit hard, whatever that thing is, hard drive in it, and it comes with a bunch of games, all that kind of stuff. So. So PC players don't want Xbox games, so
No, they do. They definitely do, because they went out and bought Cuphead in droves, which is technically was an Xbox game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, 70% of those sales are on of Cuphead are there. That's very can't argue that. All right, folks. Well, we're gonna wrap it on up here. We've been here for a few hours, and I need to kind of settle down and get on my Xbox One S. Yeah, that's what I kind of need to do and see what's going on.
Hey, man, I'm playing some 4K pixels in freaking Streets of Rage 3 right now, bro. This game looking fantastic in 4K.
Yeah, and congrats to Microsoft for doing that, because I know when they unveiled it, when Digital Foundry unveiled it, that the big question was, were they going to be able to go back and get the games that were 720p and all that stuff and make it legitimately good and look better? That was a question. Nobody doubted them. That was just a legitimate question. And then they were able to do it. So again, if you want to go back and wax nostalgia and pay five, half a stack, be my guest. But that's only something the consumer can answer, not me personally. Like, if you don't have a 4K TV, I don't know why you would get the X, but
No, but I'm just being funny, Craig. Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 was on the Sega Genesis, and it's an 8-bit game. But that is what I'm playing right now. But they said the highest resolution, the highest pixels. No, the highest resolution, the best pixels, and the smoothest frame rates.
Yeah. Now, have you tried Tomb Raider yet on the X?
I have not. I bought Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider on PlayStation because it came with all of the DLC and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I tell people. That's what I was trying to tell. Shout out to Cycle Gamer. I'm like, dude, it came with free DLC. I mean, there's what else is there? That's better value. So yeah. But we're gonna get on up out of here. Let me get on out of here and bounce. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit because I gotta try to fix this camera for the.
Oh, you're right, Gaminator. My bad. It clearly says 16-bit when you turn it on. I said 8-bit. I'm thinking about the NES. No, he's right. He's right. It was 16-bit.
Yeah, well, that's an old. Do they have Final Fight as well? on
Yes,
there?
I got Final Fight. Yeah.
Those are classic games. Me and my brother we stayed up for hours playing that shit. So and so but yeah, we're gonna get on up out of here. Sick Humor, go ahead and shout yourself out, bro.
Absolutely. First, I want to say what up, JD. What up, I die. I didn't get to say what up to everybody in the chat, but man, it's definitely been a pleasure once again coming through. And thank you, Craig, for letting me bless the podcast. You know, I try not to be too opinionated, but I mean, I try to give you the facts as well, though. And, you know, a lot of people going to look at it and think that I'm not really giving you the facts. I'm giving you a biased opinion. It really isn't a biased opinion. And you'll find out because you're your own person. So you make your final decision on what you want to do. And when you go and get your Xbox and you turn it on, if you've owned previously a PlayStation 4 Pro or a gaming rig with anything in the, you know, vicinity of a 1060, you're going to get similar or probably better performance on the 1060 than you will on the Xbox One X. Right now, maybe it's just new hardware, but I don't know. I don't know what goes into the development of games. But it's been a pleasure being here, man. I want to thank all y'all for coming out. And this is your point Pin from Sick Humor TV. And I do videos as well. So y'all can go to the page and check it out. The one thing is I'm not consistent. So I literally make videos when I feel like making videos. So it's not going to be something where I'm on a schedule or uploading every day. But lately I've been putting out a lot of content. So, you know, hopefully y'all slide through. If you're real sensitive and really love the Xbox, you're probably not going to like any of my latest videos. Just a forewarning.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. And check out Sick's channel, guys. Man's putting in work. He has the systems. No reason to lie to you guys. And that's another thing why you know these guys. It's important to get these guys' opinions because they've been gamers a while. They know what to look for, what is important, what's not important as far as quality. Quality, you know. So yeah, big shout out to your OBJ over there in the chat. I see you, bro. So but yeah, we're gonna bounce on out. So shout out to everybody that was here: Robert McLeod, OBJ, JD33, Ryan Landis, everybody that came through, Guardian Legends, all you guys. Hit the like button or hit the dislike button, whatever you all want. I don't even know what that does, but just make sure you go out there and play your games. Like I said, we had another multi-plat broken down by Digital Foundry, and clearly it's going to do a little bit more. And on the Xbox, okay, I'm not here to say it's not looking better. It said it had better clarity, but you saw it. Nothing dramatically different. Those are words Digital Foundry used, not words I put up, you know, or I made up. I didn't shoot, and type stuff in, you know, whatever you want to call it. So, guys, the thing's going to do a little bit more. That's all it's going to do. And I do agree. If you already have a Pro, I can honestly say if you have a Pro, you've been playing enhanced games for over a year, you may want to wait till some more definitive games for Xbox only comes out. And if you don't want to, that's fine. It's your money. So, but guys, hit me up on Twitter if you want to. Big shout out again to Triple Cup Chuck. Check out his podcast tonight. He's going to be talking about The Punisher and some other movies that are coming out. Like I said, Justice League was just kind of matinee. Don't unless somebody's taking you to go see it and you not coming out of pocket, don't go see it after 6 o'clock. Ain't worth it. That's all. I'm just, you know, trust me, ain't worth it. Go see it the next day.
Wait. Hold on. One thing, Craig, before you go, before you get out of here. I just saw a post that somebody put up there. The Xbox One X sold a whopping 1,344 units in Japan. That's actually pretty good coming from where what they've been selling. That's actually pretty good. The problem is in that same time span, the Pro actually sold 6,037 units.
Yeah, so that doubled. So it doubled it.
No, that's it more than doubled it. But they did sell 80K in the UK. We can't forget that. So Xbox One X did sell 80K in the UK, but that's all.
80K in the UK, not ROCK in the USA, but so it's but yeah, and again, great launch for those guys. Very happy for Phil Spencer and all those guys. So congrats to the people who went out and bought it and got one, and who won one. Who's planning on getting one. Hopefully you all enjoy it. It brings many hours of enjoyment. But just remember, we're gonna do a little bit more than the pro, and that's just the reality of it, folks. I'm not knocking that. Dynamic 4K, the beast is coming. Nah, there's already a console out that does dynamic 4K. Checkerboarding 4K, the beast is coming. Nah, there's already a console out that does checkerboarding 4K. I can keep going on, but you all get the picture. Does a little bit more. So yeah, I'm still doing the t-shirts. They are free to the people that have donated to the channel. So just that's, if you still want one though, I don't know how many I'm gonna get printed up, but I'm gonna get at least 10 done. So, and 5 are gonna be given away. So there's 5 already allocated. So I'll sell 5 more. I'm trying to trademark the phrase "a little bit more" because I don't know if I can or not. I know Trump tried to do "you're fired." He couldn't do it. So I'm trying to do a little bit more. I'm just trying to patent it to see where I can go with that. So that'd be funny. That'd be funny as hell. A little bit more.
Every time you say what's so funny about it though, Craig? You've said it so much that now, even when I'm not even thinking about it, like I'll be making a video or something and it'll just come out. It's gonna do a little bit more, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? But it comes out just randomly while I'm talking. Like I was even talking to my homie, and I was like, "Well, yeah, it does a little bit more. I mean, it's a little bit stronger. I mean, it should do a little bit more. You paying a little bit more money, so yeah.
If you're gonna pay a little bit more, it ought to do a little bit more. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Is what I'm trying to get at, folks. But it's nothing groundbreaking, earth-shattering. I can't even do it no more. It's over with. Okay, go enjoy the games. Okay, you've got your multi-plat games all out, and you've got more of them looking the same than you have not.
That's Shadow of War legit look better though.
Yeah, Shadow of War, and I'm giving you Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm just giving that to you. I have no idea, but if it's 1800p, if I want to play an 1800p game, I can play Mass Effect on the Pro. On your Xbox X, can you? No, not that I'm gonna play it because I said it's got it, but I still had that option, So Horizon Zero Dawn's 1800p on the Pro. All right, you can't play that on your Xbox X. So I mean, again, does a little bit more. Enjoy it. Again, guys, we're gonna get on up out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lay down and try to figure out this damn camera. So it should be one step, is what it keeps telling me. The guy at Best Buy said, "There's one step, it's plug and play." I'm like, fuck you, it ain't working. So, all right, then. It's probably me. But again, if I get that camera working Friday morning, wake up. If you see a tweet from me that says "mother of all unboxings" at 2 p.m. Eastern time, then you'll know that the camera, I got it to work. So,
right.
So I'll be testing it all day long if I can get it to work. And if not, it'll just be a general announcement. It won't have the same effect, though. So, but yes, I'm working on it. So we'll just have to wait and see. So, all right, guys, go out there and play your games. And remember, if you go out tonight, wear white. Take it easy.